What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that is in the description box down below. Much
love there, everybody. About to check out those Cardinals offense and see what we got. We got a lot of dead red birds. That's the hope, because Micah's on the prowl. We're talking about everything today about our Cowboys, what was said, injury updates, and more.
Birds aren't the only animals that migrate. Did you know lions can migrate too?
Yeah. Ooh. And they travel in packs, like 11 total on defense and beyond.
So
right?
A whole pride of lions is heading your way. And of course, as we talk about how proud we are of our Cowboys, well, we got to restart it again, right? Have another game this week. Of course, got to shout out the people here making things happen, just like Skeptical Fan, kicking things off officially here by gifting a membership.
Not just the first one of the night, the first one of the week.
Woo!
Skeptical Fan in first place, up one on everyone right now. The old school 1920s safety. Much love for the 1 point conversion. Appreciate you, Skeptical Fan, with the dollar, with the one gifted membership and the lead now. We'll fix the board in a minute, but yes, let's shout out those that keep the thing going here. Skeptical Fan, actually, perfect timing, baby. He is currently this week's leader in the gifting membership. You know who's running that right now? As far as this week and representing the gifted board, it's the Don.
Ron the Don Smith. He's the guy repping that gifting championship. But right now, Skeptical Fan, he had 3 months in a row of domination. Much love to Skeptical Fan. He's back in first place on that side of things. So appreciate you. Thank you so much, of course.
Yes, and then we got other people we got to shout out, like the sponsor of the week, back-to-back, like our 90s Cowboys. That's Mr. Mark Hovsepian.
Woo! Representing it. Big mahalo to you, Mark. Of course, not the only one showing the love and representing Jason Renfro with 72 points.
Yep.
Got some O-line representation there on the stream, boss. And of course, if you look to your left, who is the Cash App King, baby?
You know who it is. Snug X, but first, Double R is a member. Why?
Because Brandon James also said, hold up, wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I got to show the love too, and he gifted a membership. So huge shout out to you, Brandon James. Appreciate you, of course, showing the love here.
The man, Brandon James, on that board in a 1-1 tie with Mr. Skeptical Fan. Appreciate you, Brandon, and much love to Kenzie Bands and Double R back in that Navy Blue Crew membership. Thanks to these guys. Can't do this without your love and support. So now we have a tie for first place. Skeptical Fan, Brandon James, go Cowboys. You know the deal. Appreciate it. Truly appreciate it, guys.
Yes, and like I was just shouting out there, yes, Snug X, he's been representing as the Cash App King not once, not twice, 6 weeks in a row. Thank you so much to you, Snug. Appreciate you, of course.
And, the leader this week, they dropped it like it's hot. Night 1, Roger that Asher. Yeah, longtime Cowboy fan. Saw this Cowboy game with the Jets with his son. Live together. Much love to Roger that Asher representing that star over everything.
So that's one heck of an experience.
Yes. By the way, but there was an overnight drop by Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, because he's a Rams fan, but he's still showing the love here in MCF. We'll be seeing his Rams in person, right? This year, the family's going out to Dallas to watch the Cowboys-Rams Week 8.
Hey, Rams, you still face the 49ers. You still have one thing you can do for us.
No, they lost last week by 7 for the Vegas odds makers. No, exactly. I got one more meeting with them, but much love to Mr. Daniel Berry with the $2 J. Lou holler, and he said, "Cheers, go Cowboys." So I'm saying go Cowboys. He's probably saying go Rams. I'm saying go Cowboys. Appreciate you. He's on that board. Brandon James Shea's on that board. Jason Renfro's on that. I think he's on the Cash App board. We got a couple people here on the Cash App side. PayPal. We'll explain. But Roger Dad Asher is currently still in first place with that Cooper Rush. So
there's actually a few ways you can hop into the Cash App kingdom, right? You have the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
You know what I did not do? I did not give you currently who is the leader. We talked about all the leaders, but who's currently trying to get that sponsor of the week? Guys, it's a new face, but he's been repping it the last 2 weeks. John Montgomery, all by himself in the top spot. A lot of ballers there, like Stubby, Mark Hovsepian, A. Lavelle, and others in that top, fighting it out for the top spot. But like I said, the overall leader, John Montgomery, representing that star over everything. Appreciate you. Now, I do want to say, you see Jason Renfro, 72 points. You got some star level members, and over everything level members. So without further ado, we do shout them out on the nightly here at MCF because they are truly the sponsors of the week, sponsors of the night, every night. So appreciate Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Dwayne Broussard, the Top Dog, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Pocht, Ron the Don Smith, Marissa Sparkle, The Lunatic, and in the over everything level, Snug X. You know why he's here. Appreciate everybody, guys. Can't do it without you guys. And everybody is starring over everything level. There is a very important little raffle we got on the monthly star level membership, over everything level membership. Sewn and Stitch jersey for one lucky member once a month. Whoever's in that membership, in the membership at that time in the over everything or star level has a chance to win a choice. Now, we don't give you the one that we have. We let you pick the style, the name.
Yeah.
There's some option. Okay, you can't pick anything you want.
As long as it's available.
Yes, exactly.
We got you.
So, again, star level member. Yeah. Over everything, exactly. A lot of different players, the old school, new school, legends, whatever. We got 35 different players, and also it's all sports, all teams, all sports. And we can, we'll check in on that if you do one. For somebody who wanted a different sport, a jersey from basketball or baseball, something that can be substituted as well. But we represent that navy blue, silver, and star. So does Cowboys Mosh, who offers this to everybody. So again, in a star and over everything, you got a chance to win that monthly. Now, back to the stream here and the shout outs that make this thing go on the nightly.
There are quite a few people I have to show the love to here in the chat.
Who is in the house tonight? Talk some Cowboy football.
Cam, DC Farrell, and hey, if the Cowboys are trying to get Stephon Diggs, we'd be the first ones happy about it. But yeah, I think that's just internet hype, internet rumors, just being honest. Aztec Aguilar 04, what's up? Much love. We have Choctaw Montana 808 representing. And by the way, Cam, enjoy that game. So, Steve S., nice try. Nice attempt. We got Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical.
Steve S. always going.
Double R representing Presley Mitchell. Much love to you. We have James Payne's Vids and Stream. What's up? He said 7-Eleven all day. Hey, it's icy time. Brandon James, of course. Shout out to you. Getting money, hello and hi. Christmas baby. Much love to you. Kenzie Bands, showing that love. We got Griff 181. Peace, love to you. Spoony Dog, what's up? Rolling back a little bit more. Thomas Garrett, the Superior. Garrett. Texas Twister, stay safe out there on the road. We got Q Ball, what's up? Stephen White, hello and hi. Mackenzie, 2 times.
Two times.
Jason Renfro, of course, coming through representing that stream boss. And I believe Freedom First was actually first today, so good for him. So, Roy Strassner, what's up to you? Much love.
Roy in the house.
Let me see. And anyway, as we try to figure out if Steve S. can actually speak, read, write, and understand the English language.
He can't, trust me.
Why don't we go ahead and start touching on some of the things we got to talk about today. And yes, guys, I truly don't know how. Obviously, some injury updates that we will be discussing. But mainly, I'm sorry, I'm laughing not in a haha funny way, just in I can't even believe we're discussing this way. But yes, somehow the Cardinals are even more banged up than they were just yesterday and the day before and the day before, which at this point, you do have to start feeling bad for them, right? I'm just saying.
The answer is no, because we're Cowboys fans.
We haven't played them yet. I can feel bad for them after we play them.
They've beat us. I'm going to talk about it tonight, but they've beat us the last 6 times. Trust me,
point.
I've been taking a lot of shit from my brother, and hopefully my brother is a Cardinal fan, diehard. Dr. G will be on the show for maybe 15 minutes sometime Saturday evening. We'll see what happens. But even if, one way or the other, we'll try to bring you the insight from a Cardinal fan here, part of the family, believe it or not, but yet part of the enemy, ensemble we face this weekend. So anyways, much love to everybody in the house. And by the way, today, as we kick it off on this stream, again, big thanks. Daniel Barry, Brandon James, Skeptical Fan gifting memberships, both of you guys. Happy birthday to one of those guys you guys were just talking about. 7-Eleven there, Mr. 7 of that 7-Eleven, Trayvon Diggs.
Oh, shit. Happy birthday,
yeah, Trayvon Diggs. He officially, let me see, here he is. Maybe don't want to give out his age, but he's 25 years old today, guys. Young, paid for years for the Cowboys, and dominating. We love that. That's a trio we love. So, good news there. Now, NFL news real quick, guys. Now, remember there was a Patriots fan, New England Patriots fan that died, Dale Mooney. He was involved in the fight. I mean, I've seen the video, the different angles. He got kind of hit in the head, but I mean, it wasn't like a big swing. It wasn't like I've seen so much more violent beatings,
Yeah.
But he just kind of collapsed after that. And according to the autopsy, he came back and they said it might not have been the result of a traumatic injury. It was more of some kind of medical issue, according to Norfolk County DA Michael Morrissey. said in an official statement. So obviously we got to find out more, but it doesn't sound like it was the punch that killed him.
Okay.
Something was going on beforehand that maybe the punch maybe accelerated it, but either way, he sounded like he had a medical incident there around the time of the punch.
I hate to be that person, but at least there's that. I don't think anybody would want to... I don't think anybody who punches anybody intends to kill them. Just being honest.
I agree. So, again, that's that story there. Saints, the New Orleans Saints safety, Marcus May, was suspended without pay. He's a good player. He's from the Jets. A guy I like, that free safety. Maybe he'll come over to us if the Cowboys wanted to pay a little bit. They didn't want to. The Saints did. He's suspended for the next 3 games for violating the NFL policy on substance abuse.
Ouch.
So, again, we don't know if it was a drug or if it was a PED. But it definitely sounds like...
the substance abuse definitely, like, just the wording of it in general. Because usually when they just say, like, performance-enhancing drugs, if
PEDs,
it was a PD specifically.
Yeah, so they didn't say that. So it sounds like it's maybe some, who knows, some other drug out there. Anyways, the Raiders. Now, they got there. We heard about pass rusher Chandler Jones, who, was a guy that kind of was acting strange at the beginning of the season on his Instagram and other places, kind of talking about how his own team was like treating him badly. He's still under contract, and he was placed today by the Raiders on the non-football illness list, non-football injury list.
Okay.
As he deals with a personal issue, they've stood behind him, and no one has ruled out a return if his situation improves. But the word is that the guy is kind of losing it. And he's kind of losing grip right now. I don't know if it's a CTE thing. I don't know if it's something else, but he's obviously needing treatment right now for that. Hoping the best for Chandler Jones. Luckily, he didn't hurt anybody yet, or himself, right? So that's the situation with him.
Definitely a very tragic situation.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic pass rusher. I think it was with the Cardinals a couple of years ago. Was dominating with them. Yeah,
it's
that's
one
a
thing
big
to
loss
retire because your body physically can't keep up, but I do think it's just an extra layer of sadness when your mind is the one that can't keep up.
And that, age of 30 or some shit. I mean, that's he's not that old, I don't think. So again, best thoughts out to him and what he's going through there. The Browns, now they're going through a lot of stuff with Nick Chubb being out for the year. They signed one of their own running backs once again, Kareem Hunt. Yep, agreed to terms with him for a 1-year deal worth up to $4 million. Not even like base $4 million. So he went to a lot of visits this offseason. Didn't sign with anyone. He just figured he just waited out into the season, right? Someone will need a running back somewhere where the Browns are that team. And after a stop journey, he's been on. He started with the Kansas City, had some domestic stuff going down there. Was released, and and the Browns picked him up. He was playing great there with the Browns and the 1-2 punch of him and Nick Chubb, but they let him go this offseason. They picked him back up now, and he was on a visit yesterday with the Browns. With the Nick Chubb injury, it's obvious why they signed him. Last NFL piece of news. There was a trade today. The Rams traded running back Cam Akers. I mean, they've been trying to move him for a while. And they traded him in a conditional 2026 7th-round pick, so basically an undrafted in a way, to the Minnesota Vikings. So now have a running back, I guess, Cam Akers, in exchange for a conditional 2026 6th-round pick. So they give away a conditional 6th-rounder. And I guess that depends on how much he plays. It probably drops down to 7th or something like that. And the same thing goes to the Rams pick. They sent Cam Akers and that 7th-round conditional. They might get not to give up any pick if things work out certain ways negatively, I guess you could say, for Cam Akers and the Vikings. But either way, it's basically a 6th-round pick for a 7th-round pick. And, a 7th-round pick and the player, Cam Akers, for a 6th-round pick. A guy who really is a bust there, unfortunately, for Cam Akers. And they finally moved him for minimal worth. They're probably going to cut him. And I think they'd cut him multiple times already or threatened to cutting him. Now it's official. Now, that's NFL. F all that, right? We worry about our Dallas Cowboys and Navy, Blue, Silver, and Star. So let's start with, the way the Cowboys started on Sunday against the Jets with the ball on offense, right? And, when you talk about the offense, the first person I know people think about Dak and, CeeDee Lamb. I think about this guy, Mike McCarthy. When you look at Mike McCarthy, look at the efficiency of this offense. We talked about it yesterday, the team efficiency with Dan Quinn on defense and the overall defense. I looked at a breakdown for the offense. And when you look at again, this goes down to the running plays, EPA, the passing plays, EPA, which means, I'm going to just make it easy, efficiency. How efficient is our run game? How efficient is our pass game? Our offense is like the 7th or 8th most efficient. Our quarterback is number 1 in the league in efficiency. But as a breakdown of how we are efficient, when you look at it, We're right at the freaking, like, the fantastic line, I guess you can say, the sweet spot of this, and on the good side of it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we are the fourth most, again, we were one of the top efficient teams. We're the fourth most efficient offense when it comes to throwing the ball in the NFL. The fifth best.
Which,
efficient.
again, is crazy considering we haven't
sorry, fourth best.
No, I'm just saying, it's just crazy considering we really haven't done all that much on offense.
Throwing the ball, right?
That's all that
but
crazy.
It's not about the stats, the touchdowns you throw. It's about the efficiency. How often are we moving the ball? How often are we getting first downs? How often are we making third down and 2s and 3s and 4s?
So you don't have to be pass happy
Correct.
to be efficient and consistent.
But on the passing side, we are extremely efficient. Only the Dolphins, the Niners, and the Packers are the most efficient offenses right now. We are right behind the Packers there. And just so you know, when it comes to the running side of efficiency, the Niners are number 1 on the rushing side. They're number 2 on the passing side. So they have an offense that's clicking. Now, Brock Purdy has very high numbers as well as Dak. That's why you're seeing both these guys on very high levels of passing efficiency as far as the team itself. But when you look at the running efficiency, the Cowboys drop a little bit there. And again, it makes sense. Last game we had like 2.5 yards, 2.4 yards per carry. That's not that's not the efficient part. You could look at Tony Pollard and say, well, he had 70 yards, 72 yards. You can look at Deuce's play and this guy's play, and we spread the ball around but still, it was not truly efficient running. We had 2 or 3 nice bursts, and outside of that, it wasn't really efficient running for the day, and really not efficient running for the year so far in the first 2 games. The Niners are number 1 in run efficiency, but you got the Ravens, Chargers, Falcons, Browns, Rams, Seahawks, Broncos, Bills, Bucks, Bengals, Washington, Eagles, and the Titans. All these teams are in front of us. So we're like 12th, 15th. We're like average on run efficiency. Pass efficiency, we're tops. We're one of the top teams in pass efficiency.
Yeah, that run efficiency is a little unfortunate, though, considering that we are one of the teams that spent the most money on running back.
Well, yeah, but again, I think we have to understand in the context of McCarthy's offense, it actually kind of makes sense. We're trying to run the ball to make the guys come up, not necessarily gain the important yards yet.
Now, trust me, I'm not going to tell you to pull a Zeke and start running the ball to Tony Pollard just because we just franchise tagged him. We got to get our money's worth. I'm just saying that it is definitely a departure from the usual because, again, just last year, we ran the rock with Zeke because he's the guy making the money. So I'm just saying that now decisions are being made because of what's best for the offense and not necessarily what's best for certain people's pockets.
Yeah, like Jerry Jones. But I will say this, baby. Think about this for a second. It's hard to quantify, I guess. There's no analytic that's out there like this. But
I know.
Remember all those plays? First down, the first down plays that we throw the quick passes? Mm-hmm. Now, if you add those in, well, that's why we're very efficient in the passing side of things. But if you add that in and move it to the running side, you'll see the efficiency go up. When you see those passes going to running backs or out of the backfield, quick passes, whatever, that's a run play on first down and 10. So I think you got to balance that into it. I'm not worried about the run efficiency. We're still like above average.
Honestly, as long as we stay on the average to above average side of things, as long as it's helping, contributing, doing its job, you don't necessarily need an overly efficient run game. We just can't let it stall out either completely. Like when we need it to do its thing, we're hoping you can still do what you have to do.
I think mainly that stuff happened in the last game, at least, in the red zone, where you could see we got kind of bogged down a little bit when we became very conservative. Why? Play caller choice. That hurt the rushing efficiency, but I'm not concerned.
So honestly, I guess it really just does come down to play calling. It doesn't matter if you're running or throwing.
And it's play calling with efficiency. We also, it's more not just play calling, but context. Like McCarthy he was conservative in play calling, but there was a context. We were up by 27 to 10. I'm sorry. So the context is we're going to run into a line and kick the field goal, right? So
True.
Context matters. Anyways, another guy doing his part in things, not just Mike McCarthy, but of course Dak Prescott. Yeah, guys, Dak, number 4, the person that I don't know about an eighth of the fan base loves to hate for some reason. Dak Prescott, listen to this, baby. Put up a QBR, quarterback rating of 87 versus the Jets. Just so you guys understand what this means, the Jets defense is fantastic. I know people don't really realize this. They want to say other reasons why, or the Jets got tired. Well, yeah, in the fourth quarter when the game was out of hand. But the point I'm trying to say is that Dak Prescott put up an 87 QBR. That is the highest rating that the Jets have allowed since last September.
Jeez.
Dak Prescott picked that defense apart. Even he had a couple bad throws and one almost cost us big way, but efficient, dominating against a dominating defense. That hasn't allowed these things. So when people say, well, the defense is tired because the offense sucks in the fourth quarter, not in the first, second, and third quarters. Let's stop the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I know the Cowboys had a lot of time of possession and was working them, but they got tired, but they had halftime, you know? Then they came out rejuvenated in the third quarter. Why are we still doing this to them? Well, the game plan from McCarthy, Dak, efficient, and it means that the QBR is the best against this Jets defense since last September 2022. Case closed.
Now, Montana anyway said, I don't believe in the Jets defense. Y'all can. So, so belief or not, I think it's one of those things where are there that many defenses, like, okay, how about this? Maybe they're not, like, top 5. Would you still say they're above average? Would you still say they're pretty solid? Either way, there's not too many above average defenses that we get the chance to face off, or face up against like this. And yes, Dak was relatively successful. Not just relatively successful, very successful.
Very successful.
So,
the most successful quarterback against, whether you love this defense or hate this defense of the Jets, it's still, again, like you said, above average. No doubt they're above average, right? Yep. Right, Montana, they're above average. And I say definitely top 10.
Yep.
Definitely top 10. And some people would say top 5.
And Skeptical fan, I'm looking forward to the same thing. Again,
they'll keep happening until we beat the Niners.
I'm not thinking that our Cowboys should be taking it easy either. And honestly, based on some of the comments you're going to hear straight from them today, I don't think the Cowboys have any intention of taking it easy or chilling against this Cardinal team. But some of the things that Mr. MCF and I have been saying since, I'm pretty sure, like the third quarter of the game, was that we wanted to see McCarthy take a few more chances in the red zone and take advantage of those situations, because this is basically like a glorified scrimmage.
But I want to repeat one thing. I truly believe, and maybe you guys think I'm wrong, you're welcome to say that, I believe, this is not something I found somewhere, someone's reported on this. I believe that McCarthy tailored this offense in the red zone when we're up by this much to say, when we're up by if we're up by this much against this defense, you don't want to push things in the end zone. Things get knocked in the air. Things get, freaky things happen in the end zone. Just disagree. Put up the 3 points and let's keep rolling. And the thing is about this, this defense. So I want to make sure I mention that, because another thing why this defense maybe can be looked upon as maybe having some weakness is because they're so young. But, I mean, they still had Josh Allen twice last year. I'm sorry, but that's a good offense. And, I look at, I know some people are saying, well, they didn't play good teams. The Bills are a good team. The Dolphins almost, they do have a good year last year. They play these guys four times last year. So what you judge a good team or a bad team is, it's whatever. In my mind, it's more about what kind of offense do they have, what kind of team they have. I think the Jets have had some good matchups and some tough matchups on the offensive against the offensive team that they had to play. And so to my point is, no matter how you slice it, everyone plays easy teams here. We're going to play a really easy one this week. We should be killing this Cardinal team. But the Jets are a solid defense. They're above average, and they're, I believe, top 10. Most people believe top 5. Yeah, they got to prove it over and over again. I agree, like we have. Still, no one's top 1 like us. And that's a defense Dak fakes every single day in practice. So that's why he can handle any defense in the NFL. No defense is tough when you're dealing with the Cowboy defense every day in practice. And again, I want to say this, no matter what happens, not until we beat the Niners, especially in the playoffs, or the Eagles in the playoffs. But even this Niner game coming up in a couple of weeks, if we don't beat them, they're going to still say we just can't do it. Remember, that's what's going to happen. I believe we got to play well in that game. We win or lose. I want to win. But I also want to win in the playoff game. And that's the one that matters to me. In the playoffs, we got to get that issue off our backs. Got to. So, again, beat the Niners and shut up the critics. I want to beat the Niners in the playoffs to win the Super Bowl. To get to the Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl. I want 6. So, anyways, I don't know if any quick comments, but that's the Dak situation today. That's the Dak slice.
Exactly. Preston Mitchell saying exactly, MCF, don't show your cards till needed.
Yeah.
Pun intended. So Freddie Palma said, give us all our credit because we want all the smoke.
We do. We want it.
Micah straight up said as much.
Yeah, we're going to hit up on
Micah
Micah's
did
comments.
everything but post his home address and tell people to at him. Honestly, Micah's energy is just so infectious. I love it. So, and yes, Jason Renfro Fitzgerald did hang up his cleats.
Yep,
it's a little weird to think about the NFL without him in it, though.
I know Larry Fitzgerald's playing chess with Howard Stern. I'm just letting you know the background for Mr. Larry. He's not a Cardinal anymore. So, but we talk about a receiver for our Cowboys. How about that? You want to talk about our Cowboy receiver, the guy who's maybe a top 5 So I believe he is Mr. C.D. Lamb, baby. C.D. Lamb here matching it up with Dak Prescott. And again, when you look at C.D. Lamb's numbers here, look at his 2023 stats for C.D. Lamb when he was, when he's targeted, meaning the ball thrown at him, he might not catch it. He usually has. But if the ball's overthrown or C.D. Lamb drops it or it's a good defensive play, he's targeted 17 times this year, guys. 17 times. He has 15 of those catches, those 17 targets. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was perfect last week. And this, as far as targets and catches, this week I think he was He had 11 catches out of 13 targets. So he only had his 2 incompletions this week. One was a good defensive play on third down. They ripped the ball out. I think it was taken away because it was a penalty against roughing the passer there. But the point is, 15 out of 17. He's caught 15 out of his 17 targets for 220 yards, 14.7 yards per reception. That's 103. Also, he has 103 yards after the catch. That's number 2 in the NFL, guys. And he also has 5 receptions of 20 or more yards. That is tied for third in the NFL. Again, these are the only stats we have to go with. Oh, shit. Jumping up and down all around. Raul back in the membership in the Navy Blue crew. Why? Because the man who stays skeptical is on that board. Well, I got to add that board up, too. I got to make sure I put both guys up there. And now, Skeptical is in first place on the gifting membership, and he moves up on the overall board. What did the man say? Oh, I guess not. I guess you can read what he said.
I'm showing the love to the MCF family. But thank you, Raul. Shout out to you. Congrats. And thank you, Skeptical fan, which is what I meant to say. And by the way, yes, I think all of us are looking at the schedule and thinking the same thing. I know we are. When do we get to that, week 6 playoff game? I mean, the 49ers matchup, which, I am not denying that, but remember what our Cowboys have been saying the last 2 weeks, and honestly the last few weeks. The way we get to the Super Bowl is by keeping it one day at a time, 1 week ahead of us at a time. So at least our Cowboys, they're not looking at them. They're not thinking about them. They're thinking about the Cardinals.
Yep.
And
that's
we're going to try our best to do that as well. But of course, as Cowboy fans, we do have an eye, on what's coming
Part
next.
of the fan thing is fanatic.
Oh,
We're crazy. So anyways, CeeDee Lamb, again, 5 catches of 20 or more yards. That's tied for third in the NFL. Fantastic statistics. I want to reiterate, though. I know, guys, and we all have to know this. It is 2 games into the season. At the same time, it is still 2 games in the season, right? So great job. CeeDee Lamb starting off fantastic. And, wow, this is called the love. All full circle right now, baby. Because Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, who dropped the overnight Cash App there, is part of the Navy Blue crew once again. I think he's back in that. Yeah. And because of the man who has 72 points on that stream boss, Jason Renfro in the house. Now he has a gifted membership as well. You got Brandon James and Jason with 1 each. Skeptical fan with 2. Much love to you guys. And congrats to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights once again.
Thank you again, Jason. I appreciate you.
I'm going to update the board now.
And congrats to Daniel. So.
Yep. And by the way, I'm going to update the board now. So make sure I do that, the gifting leadership thing right. But also, baby, I want you to tell me what went down today when it comes to some of the, I would say a coach, for example, the offensive coordinator. Now, Mike McCarthy's the play caller, and he's the installer of the offensive playbook. But the one of the coordinator, the biggest guy, the next guy behind him on the offensive side, when it comes to Mike McCarthy, it is
Shoddy.
Shoddy in the house. Get the Shoddy.
No, guys. Yes, our offensive
coordinator. He's still called the coordinator. Yeah.
Technically, yeah. That's still a little weird for me, but yes. The offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer, he said this as far as like our offense practicing against our defense, that historic matchup, right? He said we love it because we know that we're going against one of the top defenses in the league.
Boom.
And the cool thing is that it truly is a great matchup because we know their calls and their adjustments and they know ours. So it's almost like we can anticipate what they're doing or know what they're doing. So it comes down to the one-on-one matchups, whether it's pass protection or the blitz package, CD versus Trayvon, Tyron versus Micah. It really brings to light the fundamentals and the beauty of what these guys do. And
that's interesting.
I have to admit.
That's great, actually.
I've considered a lot of things. I never really stopped to think about the fact that when our own team faces off against each other in some scrimmage situations, that we kind of already know the plays. Like, why? I've been watching football for a lot of years. Why did that only just now occur to me that's I'm just saying.
So yeah, I'm saying with her, they know what the style we do things. The defense is tested. You know, they have a better. Actually, you know who's tested the most is the offense, because the defense, knowing the offensive kind of playbook and schemes and little tweaks, you know, they're putting the clamps on the offense. So these things are really under extreme pressure and strain at practice on the offense.
Yeah, that's why Schottenheimer made it a point to point that out. Like I said, it thought about a lot of things. I guess I never really thought about it in that particular way.
Again, iron sharpens iron, baby.
Okay, at this point, it's like diamond sharpening diamonds.
Exactly. Okay. I like that.
Anyway, back to you, baby.
Oh, is that?
Yeah,
all?
So that was his main point today. I know he said like one or two other like very small things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you had, again, did you talk about the Schottenheimer? Actually, he had recalled early in the game on Sunday when the Jets attempted to run a screen towards Micah Parsons. After the play, Schottenheimer looked at Dak Prescott on the bench and said, quote, "Damn, I'm glad Micah's on our team." And again, this is what I'm trying to talk about. And this is in a game, right, with the Jets, and you know, in mid game, and Schottenheimer's admiring Micah Parsons and saying, "I don't know what we would do if we had to play against this guy in a real game," right? So glad he's on our team. Schottenheimer said, quote, "Thank goodness we get to go against him only in practice because he's just a different type of athlete." And I think we all know that about Micah Parsons. Seeing him, whether you know, some people really hated Micah coming into the league, and our team made a lot of jokes and interesting comments about him. Everyone's, in full support of Mr. Micah Parsons.
Everyone's trying to get over their depression that they weren't the ones who picked him first.
Hey, listen, right now, Schottenheimer's, again, we're going to talk about tomorrow, Dak, the offense, Schottenheimer, and McCarthy's kind of scheme and stuff. We'll touch on it, I'm sure, a little bit more. But I know Tony Pollard also spoke. But I wanted to say something about the upcoming team they're preparing for, like the Cardinals. Guys, if you're in the navy blue, silver 2, star level, or the over everything level, guess what you can drop now? A new emoji we just added to there. Now, it might not be politically correct, so forgive us for that. But we are talking about the Cardinals, and they're our enemy this week. So,
okay, let me
drop them like it's hot if you guys got them. Remember, that's the hope after this game. Dead bird meat.
I can't see.
You know what I mean? Oh, I might not have dropped. Oh, I don't think I've actually dropped it in there yet. Shoot, I thought I had done it. I'll fix it. Okay.
I don't see it here.
Well, I'll fix it. I'll show you what it is.
That's the fun of live stream.
There's the Angry Bird. I'll put it in there in a couple minutes. I'll let you know when it's ready. But while you talk about Tony Pollard, but I do want to give you a preview of what it's going to be. Don't get offended. Come on, that's funny as shit. Come on, the retardinals. Anyways.
Oh, I guess it is there.
Is it? It should be a big white.
Okay, yeah, it is
big
in there.
Frontal lobe skull.
Yeah, you can't really hear. You can't really see the.
Okay, so it is there. I knew I did it, guys. Thank you. Go Cowboys. There it is. Yes, the retardinals. Enjoy.
Oh.
Enjoy. If my brother comes in here, guess what I'm dropping? All 3 of those emojis.
Oh, look, I agree with pretty much.
Oh shit.
I think every single person in the chat at this point has mentioned that they want to make sure that we're not playing down to our competition this
Agreed.
weekend.
So the retardinals, they might pull off, a water boy move or something. I don't know, but look, the point is, we got the water boy. His name is Micah Parsons. Defense. Let's talk some defense. Because I'm gonna start off with our free safety. How's that sound? Free safety, Malik Hooker. He reached 18.8 miles per hour against the Jets game and traveled 45 yards when he went for that free safety all the way to the other side of the field, INT. And he was in great position for that. He flew across the field, made that catch, traveled 45 yards at 18.8 miles per hour, a peak speed of that, according to Next Gen Stats. And again, guys, a rare ability to be able to play center field and do that. And I've been saying, I don't know why Brian Broaddus hates him so much. But man, I not hates him, but thinks he is lacking. Because I thought as a free safety, Malik Hooker is doing everything we need him to do in a Dan Quinn defense. So I love what Malik Hooker has brought to the table. Jerry Jones loves his hooker. So again, guys, he has
that doesn't even need to be said.
He has that. Malik Hooker has that rare ability to play center field, going from hash to boundary to out position. The throw from Zach Wilson, but out positioning wide receiver Garrett Wilson in the air, playing that deep free safety spot. By the way, was in the house rocking that 424. Jason Renfro dropping that 4 on it.
Jason.
4+. And he's up to 76 points in that stream, boss. What did the man have to say?
Bring on 3-0. And that 40 burger, because I am hungry.
Yeah, he's calling 40. I was saying 30-0 for the Cowboys. Might be 40-0. I don't know.
Double patty, double cheese, extra pickles, hold the mayo.
Oh, shit.
Okay? Actually, how about this? Extra ketchup. since we're playing the Cardinals.
Yes,
too.
and making them bleed a little bit.
Yeah, some ketchup on the side. So
much love, Jason.
And look, we have a variety of different viewpoints and thoughts and opinions here. And since we're always talking Cowboys football, we want to make sure to be as inclusive as possible here at My Cowboys Family. But sometimes that does include some foul language.
It does happen, guys, and what the hell.
So I have to kind of back you up there on the Malik Hooker thing again. At first, I could understand like some of the points that Broadus made, but it seemed like Malik Hooker, once he clearly grew past that within our defense, it's like he never let go of the guy that he used to be. So, maybe there's a little bit of that discrepancy there as well, especially like, maybe in some of his more scouting capacity and stuff. Some early film from Malik Hooker maybe sticks in his mind, and he, like I said, he just can't move past
to me,
that.
it was always the injury that was the issue for Hooker, and he and the Cowboys are showing how they, and I say Dan Quinn, he's showing how.
Yeah, but Broadus has made it clear that it's definitely much more than just, I'm worried about his availability. Yeah. Because there's guys on our team that you could easily, like, I don't know about currently anymore, but you could easily argue beforehand that we had guys who are way more injured on a regular basis and much less talented, possibly, or at least produced less, if we're talking about just pure production value. So, extra onion make them cry, huh? I love that. Oh, that's a good one. 40-3. Cam, that's one heck of a score prediction there, but you know what?
I said 40-0.
That's a very believable one. So
I said 30-0, but I have a feeling.
How embarrassing is it that the Cardinals will probably score even one singular point more than the Giants, honestly? Even I am willing to give the Cardinals like a field goal.
We'll see. Listen, if we miss a tackle, the Giants did make a couple. If we miss a tackle here and there, that could happen. But for the most part, if we play a solid game, they shouldn't score into the double digits. I'm being real. And our offense and our defense, we're going to pull up is 13, 17 points to guarantee the win, in my opinion. Anyways, this defense, let's quickly talk about them before we get some more quotes and the breakdown of the Cardinal offense. So again, guys, I want to look at our offense, and I'm concerned if we sleep on this team or what can happen, where their weak spots. We're going to talk about that tonight. But first, let's talk about our defense and how we kind of compare with them and hear from the team. Micah Parsons, guys, just so you guys know, and I did make this mention last night about this statistic about Micah Parsons get off the line of scrimmage. Number one in a long time for Micah Parsons. Look, here's Micah here, but we saw him against the Giants. All right, caused damage. We'll let this run for a minute. Micah Parsons was faster off the line of scrimmage against the Jets on Sunday than any pass rusher has been in a game in the last 2 years. His average get-off was clocked at 0.57 seconds. He had 9 pressures, including 2 sacks. And of course, fumble recovery, forced fumble, all that good stuff.
That's some robot man numbers.
Madden NFL 24 today posted all over the place, quote, "We hear you, Dallas Cowboy fans. Micah Parsons up to a 98 rating." I mean, I don't know if that's great, but then they continue, because again, I believe it was a 99 from the beginning of the year. And then they said, retweet if Micah should be in the 99 club soon. Yeah. I believe he's coming. In fact, Micah retweeted that and said, quote, 99 coming soon. And he said, also, Madden, I'm a linebacker and a pass rusher. Do not restrict me to defensive line only. Which shows you, again, he had this year? 70 snaps on the defensive line in two games, 70 snaps, pass rusher. 11 snaps as linebacker. These are the least amount of snaps he's played in combined on both positions, in year 1 and year 2 at this point of the season, which is a great job by Dan Quinn to keep him, available in the game, but also utilize him properly so he can last not just the whole game, but a whole season into the playoffs and get stronger. So that's what I'm talking about there. I love that. And again, everything's going Micah's way because he got his much-deserved NFC Defensive Player of the Week, which is now no surprise. Not for this game.
Can't believe it took this long.
Well, again, this is his third one. I know, it's 2 weeks, right? This is his third one in his career.
I was waiting for you to get that.
In 2 years and 2 games, this is his third NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Third time in his career. Micah Parsons named NFC Defensive Player of the Week, along with his, again, I say in the Giants game as well, but with that persistent pressure versus the Jets, which resulted in 2 sacks, led to an interception with his pressure. He pulled out, forced that fumble to Dalvin Cook and recovered it. It should have been maybe a touchdown. He was touched. And by the way, all reports are saying right now, Micah Parsons is in the MVP conversation. No surprise there. And then they listed
it should begin and end with Micah Parsons, but what the heck do I know?
I know. Micah Parsons, again, this is the overall MVP now. We're talking about the league MVP, which hasn't been a defensive player since Lawrence Taylor. Which, again, if anybody's going to compare it to this guy, Micah Parsons.
I wish it would just make a specific, like, quarterback MVP
and defense
category,
MVP, yeah.
and then just like a regular MVP category. Just
for everybody in the league, yeah.
Literally anyone but a quarterback a chance, because what was the last time a non-quarterback player won in
general?
I mean,
Emmitt Smith. I think Emmitt Smith won it. And my point is that there have been a running backs and I think a receiver, but that's it. That's the most you're going to get. No defense ever rarely wins it.
And the thing is that, again, the person you're talking about played in the NFL 20-something years ago when he earned it. So
which player?
Emmitt Smith?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I meant
that's
30 years ago.
So true. I guess we're 20-something years ago in my head, and you can't tell me different. Anyway, that is not the point. My point is just that the NFL has changed a little bit in the last 20-something years, and like I said, at least in the last 20-ish years, it's basically been quarterbacks galore. I don't know how it used to be before that. It feels like it was at least a slightly more varied.
No, in 1981, it was Lawrence Taylor, and he took over the league by storm in his second year. It was already the superstar out there. But Micah Parsons, in this new wave of, he's not Lawrence Taylor. He's actually just different than Lawrence Taylor. And you can say better, you can say worse. It don't matter. It depends on what you need done. I think Micah is the new Lawrence Taylor type out there. And breaking the mold, and now he's going to be the guy they talk about in 20, 30 years. You remember Micah Parsons? He reminds me of Micah Parsons, not Lawrence Taylor. That won't be fresh in the minds of people. It'll be Micah if he continues having this kind of career. Remember, Lawrence Taylor has ups and downs. Yeah, cocaine, use. Micah is 100% different. As long as Micah stays healthy, I think he'll be better than Lawrence Taylor. I said it. And I said it in his rookie year. Now, 3 tackles for loss in this game. Not this game, against the Jets, I'm sorry. The 2 sacks, of course, the forced fumble recovery, 6th player since 1982 with the sack count, being tracked with 10 or more games. 10 plus games, he has 10, with 2 or more sacks in his first 3 seasons. Again, guys, 6th player in history. I think Reggie White's one of the guys that did it as soon as he has. So, 3rd career player of the week. He got it week 8 of 2021. He got it week 5, 2022. Now, of course, week 2 of 2023. 3rd Cowboys linebacker to win defensive player of the week 3 times, joining DeMarcus Ware, who got it 4 times, and Sean Lee, who got it 3 times. Guys, remember, DeMarcus Ware and Sean Lee are retired a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is that he's done it, or he's only the 3rd linebacker for the Cowboys to do this, and the guys that have done this, they had long careers. This is his 2nd game in his 3rd year. So when he gets that 5th, he's ready to tie Sean Lee. When he gets when he gets over 4, these defensive players of the week, he would have broken all records when it comes to that. And again, he becomes the 4th former Penn State player to win defensive player of the week 3 or more times. Only Cameron Wake did it 4 times, Tamba Hall 3 times, and Sean Lee did it 3 times. That's it. So Micah is going to be obviously taking over all these numbers with another couple defensive players of the weeks. Micah, of course, this 3rd of his career. 4 tackles in this game, 3 tackle for losses, 2 sacks, 1 pass defense, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. Obviously, those are record-setting. Those are numbers that are obvious why Micah, is the defensive player of the week. Now, I want to add one last person in here real quick before we continue with Micah, because he did speak today after practice. And Micah Parsons is not the only person that was on the possibility of winning the NFC whatever player of the week. The reason I say that is because you had a kicker on our team who might have gotten that special teams player of the week. He did not. The Buccaneers punter, Jake Camarda, earned that weekly honor. But Brandon Aubrey, remember, guys, he had 5 field goals, made the extra point. We went for the other touchdown, was a 2-point conversion. But again, they were not enough for the special teams player of the week.
Yeah, he actually came through. Didn't he have a 55-yarder?
Yep, he had a 55-yarder. He made 5. He made a 55-yarder.
Again,
but
if he can do the one thing that Maher didn't do, which was at least kick consistently for us now, stay above that 85% that Maher had, we'll be okay. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
I'm just saying, you just need to be better than Maher. I feel like that's a relatively easy bar.
Hey, hit those 55
now
and
that he's
closer.
shown us this little bit of consistency, right?
Exactly. When you look at Micah last year, again, we talked about this from his rookie year. Last year, this is last year, just dropping people. When and again, just doing the advancement from year 1 rookie year to this year, you're seeing from this year to what we saw against the Giants and the Jets, New York. Micah keeps improving, and it's incredible. We're saying that after that rookie year, but look how he matches up with the best to ever do it. Micah Parsons, first 35 games of his career, 29.5 sacks. All right? Let's take another great currently out in the field right now. The Steelers' pass rushing edge, we could have had him instead of Taco, TJ Watt. For his first 35 games, he had 21 sacks. Micah almost 10 more sacks than TJ Watt. What about I'm thinking future Hall of Famer Von Miller from the Bills right now. He's been he's injured right now for 4 weeks at least. But Von Miller in his career, first 35 games, 31 and a half sacks. Only two more sacks than Micah Parsons at this point of the game. These are great right here. What about Nick Bosa? First 35 games of his career, 28 sacks. Again, a sack and a half less than Micah right now. The Rams' Aaron Donald, who again plays interior, but has been a wrecking machine his whole career. His first 35 games, 20 sacks. Micah, 9.5 sacks more than him. And J.J. Watt, who's retired, but he's one of the best to ever do it. In the first 35 games of his career, J.J. Watt, 30 sacks. A half sack more than Micah Parsons in the same time span. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time. I'm saying Micah's one of the greatest. It will be one of the greatest of all time. So we're seeing history right now. We're seeing a guy you're going to tell your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, I see Micah Parsons play, and they're gonna say, "Oh, we love Micah. We heard so many great things about him. Can we watch the film?" So again, Micah, we're seeing every time he takes us. It's like watching Michael Jordan play. All right, I remember those days. That's legendary status. You're seeing some legendary play here from Micah Parsons.
Now, these types of legendary players don't come around all the time, and they tend to do things for your team, like give you the chance to actually, put some hardware on your hand. Right?
Yeah.
So
and that's what
sorry,
he's leading us to right now.
I just kind of said, I'm like, Coke does not sound that fun. I'm sorry. And several of some more experienced My Cowboys family members all said that it was not very fun. And not necessarily worth it to stick to the marijuana. If you choose to partake in recreational activities. In this day and age, or drinking, whatever it may be. But again, in this day and age, I'm just saying, like
double
weed, I said, smoke weed. Don't try to snort it.
Don't snort weed. I'm just saying, I think that in this day and age, weed is, again, in the NFL and in the society right now, it's a good thing that's kind of expanded the acceptance. But NFL it's no real penalties for this, so as long as you're smart about when you smoke, you're good. Lawrence Taylor would go into a game with cocaine, powder still on his nose. Like, this is a known fact. And if you've seen him play, you can understand the connection there is obvious. So the point is this: cocaine or no cocaine, Lawrence Taylor was a great fucking player, one of the best of all time, maybe the best ever on defense. But Micah is being already not only I compared him 2 years ago. I compared him and halfway through the season. I was like, this guy's showing me LT type of play. I seen LT play live, so I know. And I'm talking about not when he was ready, in 10 years in the league. I'm talking about his rookie year, second year, third year, when he was at his best. This reminds me. This is the closest I've ever seen. Yeah, Reggie White, Derek Thomas, and all those guys.
Said it again.
Micah's something different.
How do you become one of the greatest of all times? You can't just have one really good year that blows everything out of the water. You have to consistently play at a high level. And Micah Parsons, heading into his third NFL season, is doing that. And
it's not just high level, though. It's consistent, but also, like rookie year, he could have just done what he does in rookie year, still be one of the great players in the NFL. It's the fact that every year he gets better. Every year he keeps getting better. And he's not stopping getting better. That's the difference between Micah and just regular Micah, and then the Micah that may be better than LT.
Micah Taylor Parsons. Black and Blue TV, that's a good one.
So listen, don't take it from me. Micah Parsons has something to say, and also about that crawl. He's got that lion crawl. I like it. He's on the prowl. So we will see what you guys think is a good name for this shortly. But let's hear what Micah said. I know that. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I went right to the defense. You got to interrupt me and say, I got Tony Pollard. You got to tell me over and over again so I can hear you. So before we get to the defense and go all out on Micah, let's go. Let's take a step back and hand the ball off to Tony Pollard. Holla.
I promise you we're not going that far because this is probably the funniest comment of the night, at least in my opinion. So
let's hit Tony Pollard.
So first, Tony obviously had a career high 32 touches against the Jets. He said, "I've been saying it for a long time. Whatever they give me, whatever they call, I got it." I feel like Sunday was a great example of it. You guys all remember, Tony Pollard, you call it, we haul it.
Yeah, we know that line.
But he was asked, because he's been doing this obviously a lot more now that he's RB1, do you enjoy pass protection? He said, I enjoy it just about as much as everybody else.
Yeah, sorry, not his fun thing.
I don't know why I thought that comment was so freaking funny to me, because, I don't know, like, the way he says it is like, I don't know, the way most of us would say, I don't know, some annoying task that we have at work, right? Tony Pollard is saying it like, I mean, I tolerate it, I guess.
Look, the reason why they're bringing it up, because Tony Pollard made a great chip block to slow down the blitz and then turn around and make the catch to save Dak on a play. You know, Tony Pollard did a great job on out there blocking. He was the second best running back, pass protecting running back in the NFL last year, and he picked up where he left off. He's still up there. So whether he likes it or not, he does a damn good job of getting better at pass protection. And he's doing a great job now about that. Last year and this year, doing a great job. Tony Pollard.
And I barely quantify this as a quote, considering it's made up of 2 words, but Brandon Cooks was asked if he's going to play this Sunday, and he said, "I'm great."
There you go.
So
okay, we'll hear more from Brandon Cooks and about his situation, but things definitely look on the upside for Brandon Cooks to play this
honestly,
week.
most of our banged-up guys seem to be at least trending positively still.
But Jerry Jones made those comments yesterday. We're going to touch on that before we get to the Arizona breakdown. But first, I wanted to hear from the guy we spoke about here. I know we just touched on the offense for a second, but we were deep in the defensive side of things and figuring out Micah Parsons' new name for his pass rush. So, baby, I know that Micah spoke. I know we're looking at all that video. What did he say today after practice about all these topics?
He said, well, first of all, I'm going to start on a little bit more of a lighthearted note. He got a practice rep at tight end today.
I did not.
He said that McCarthy was disappointed in my route, but I told him I didn't warm up. I just went out there on the fly. But I look forward to running it back this Friday.
Okay, you wanted running back. McCarthy's maybe thinking tight end? Interesting.
Look, McCarthy's thinking everything but what I actually want. So, come on, McCarthy. Do me a solid.
Try and get him on offense for you.
Now, of course, Micah Parsons, the Lion, the hungry Lion. He spoke a little bit about why he identifies with the Lions specifically, how he relates it to football, saying, quote, "I talked about the lion hunting and, like, the preciseness, how methodical it has to be, and how Lions have to work as a team to get what they need so that they can feed their family. I said, if you look at this is what we're doing. We are out here trying to hunt this guy, trying to kill these people so we can feed our families. That's our why. No matter if it's nature or in life, everyone has their why."
I love Micah Parsons. This guy knows how to play football. He's out there killing and hunting, and that equals winning when you're playing football.
You know, if someone's going to come after my family, I expect them to bring like a knife, a gun. If they bring a freaking lion, you win. You can take the house.
Thanks, guys.
Take the husband. Go ahead. Like, you're going to beat a lion?
Yes.
No. So, Micah, by the way, after his amazing freaking fumble recovery, who, by the way, should have been a touchdown, but it's okay. We'll let it slide because we saw his knee touch. But Micah said that after that amazing fumble recovery, he's, quote, "I had my uncle in a suite. It was his first game at AT&T Stadium. And just at that time, he made his way up to the owner's suite to get some food, and he missed it. He missed out on his game ball. So I said, you just missed a moment of a lifetime, and that's bad luck on him. I was going to give it to him and dab him up, get a cool moment with him, but of course he missed out on it."
Yeah, he was looking for him. I remember after that play, he was looking for him in the...
Dude, I must be Micah's uncle. I must be.
Yeah, you missed that jersey.
Because every single time I get up during an MCF live stream, it doesn't matter what it could be a freaking commercial break. It's going to come back to somebody getting sacked. So,
for us to, yes.
Now the whole lion thing, and not specifically the lion thing, but we've all seen it. Micah's new sack celebration, right? The hungry lion.
It's on our front cover here.
Yeah, he kind of explained how it was birthed, so to speak. Adding in there it is. I was practicing it in camp, and I was just joking around with Dak, growling at him, crawling at him, and then someone said, "Oh, you should really do that," and I was like, "Oh, why not just try it out?" Now, people love the crawl. So
the lion crawl. That sounds good. I like that one.
And he said, "When I always get my chance to talk in front of the room, I talk about the lion hunting and the preciseness and how methodical it has to be. And how lions have to work as a team to get what they need so they can feed their family." So, just saying, that was the beginning part of that earlier part of that.
He's on to the lion hunting, the lion hunter.
Yeah, so, and of course, we got the whole freaking Dallas Zoo up in the house, right? Micah saying, "I say we've got to be a pack of lions, and Fowler's a jaguar. Mozzie said he's an orca now because I bring up the orca."
Micah, what? He's the orca?
Everyone is finding their own identity and who they want to be, so it's pretty cool.
Why an orca? I know he's big.
So
they're killer whales, so I guess they're kind of dangerous too.
But yeah, Micah is
Big
still...
and dangerous.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say something else. But Micah said that he's still trying to find an official name for his little kind of lion crawl, saying, if y'all got anything, help me out. We're going to name it something. I'll give you 1%.
Hey, that could be a lot of money. That could be 1% could be $100,000 if he hits it big with that lion crawl, whatever he ends up calling it, right? You see that lion, though, over his shoulder. Not the Detroit Lions, the Micah lion coming for some bird this weekend, guys.
Now, Micah Parsons also was kind of spotted today with a little different accessory in hand, right? He did have a Bible with him, and he was kind of asked by reporters, like, hey, obviously it seems a little new. What's going on with that? He said, it's teaching me to stay in the moment, appreciate your successes, and appreciate who you are and what you are. God made you for who you are, and it's important for all people to understand that it's okay. You're gonna be great. Don't be down on yourself. You're perfect. And when you say you're not perfect and you're not good for who you are, you're basically criticizing God. So just remember, God made you who you are, and you're special in your own way. So just remember that.
There you go. Micah dropping some Sunday morning knowledge, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and he actually kind of led from that, right? Because when he's talking about this, God made you special in your own way, he brought up Osa. And specifically, like, the way that he finesses things and stuff like that. So, and basically just kind of saying, that's what he has been blessed with, so to speak, right? So, let me hear it straight from Micah. He said, Osa's coming for everything he wants and deserves. He's trying to make his statement and say, hey, I can be a premier defensive tackle as well. So, and again, there's a lot of collaboration within our own defense of guys teaching each other and feeding off of each other. So Micah added in there, I think Osa's doing a much better job of feeling the rush. I told him he has to stop anticipating what he wants to do. Just set your rushes up and use your power. Use what God gifted you. Osa's a big, strong, and powerful dude. Show people finesse, guys. Not everybody can be a finesse player. And once he shows people his power and then starts incorporating finesse, he's been having a lot of success. I think he can be an 8 to 10 sack guy.
Big words there from Micah about Osa. And Micah's got three.
That's like really high praise.
Micah got 3 sacks this year. You know who's tied with them? Osa Odigizua. These guys both kind of feed off each other. Inside pressure, using more power than I want to say athleticism, I guess you could say.
I would love to have 2 players with double-digit sacks on this team.
I'm just saying, but the key here is from the inside. That's the key. We haven't really had that ever from the inside. A guy who can stop the run or help with the run, but also be more of a pass rusher inside. We've had some times that DeMarcus Lawrence or Gallimore might show a player at the game or two, but no one consistently. If we could get Osa to be consistent, that's a big jump, and that also, as we know, it helps the edge rushers. But Micah would even more help with that. DeMarcus Lawrence would. Can you imagine these one? They gotta start doubling Osa and Micah. It's over, game over, guys. So I know our man here, the guy Mark Hovsepian, our back-to-back, like our Cowboys sponsor of the week. He made a mention, who's the other scary guy on our team, And again, there's not many defenses that have defensive lines with 2 scary guys or 3 scary guys. They all have, some of them don't have any, but the ones that have 1, it's hard to get that second scary guy. It just doesn't happen too often or too easily. Osa might be becoming someone a little more scary. If they don't pay attention to him, he'll continue to get sacks from the inside. That could really change things for the way offenses try to pass against us, because that makes it just that much more difficult. So Osa's a big piece of this, as well as everybody else, with Micah's influence in this.
Now, this was the other comment that to me was like tied for funniest comment of the night, because Micah said, when I see Osa in the weight room, I don't go anywhere near him. I let him do what he likes to do, because every time we go in there, he's got some heavy weight going, and I'm not lifting heavy weights. I'm telling him that. I'm like, damn, every time I look at you, you're fully drenched sweat. He's in prime mode, but that's his work ethic. That's who he is, and he hasn't changed from it since he got here.
They were boxing together. You know what I'm saying? They were working out together sometimes. So Osa, Micah, good connection, and even better, it's growing, evolving as they play together on the same team, on the same defensive line, on the field together. So great stuff there.
And then Osa himself spoke and added in there, if someone makes a play, you're like, oh, I want a piece of that too. Let me go make one. It just gives you an extra piece of energy. And this is energy-generated football.
I'm telling you, Micah leading the way. Number 97.
Cowboys are basically like a Tesla or something.
97, Osa Odigizua is ready for his bird meat. this week.
So, but he did say it. A guy makes a play, and it sparks something in the rest of the defense. So, honestly, all it takes is maybe one play to get an entire team going. And by the way, similar to Micah, he's been doing some like off-season workouts and things like that, and he also took up boxing. But he actually really credits Pilates as well for some of that finesse ability. So that's pretty cool. Adding in there to some football stuff he's been doing as well, saying just continuing to learn the system. I've learned the game, and things are slowing down a little bit more. I'm consistently working on my hands, consistently finding little ways to keep my body right. I picked up Pilates last season, and I feel like it was really a game changer. So, again, if you've ever done Pilates, oh yeah, that shit hurts. But, it doesn't hurt.
Winning.
Well,
it doesn't have pain, but it has a lot
said
of
it feels
glory.
good, but it's definitely early. I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself. I just reset every week and do it again. And of course, part of that too is just kind of like what Micah said, the anticipation of like, hey, Osa, you're looking like an 8 to 10 sack guy. Like, how does that feel? So I like the fact that he basically said like, well, right now I'm a 3 sack guy, and I just got to go do my job tomorrow.
I love it. And that's the right attitude.
I agree. He said, I just look at my body of work when it comes to stats and stuff like that. I'm always trying to outdo myself from the previous year.
Perfect.
So if there's a metric or a line that we're trying to surpass, it's whatever we did last year.
He's growing on that, yeah. Osa doing his thing. I mean, again, 97, 3 sacks with Micah. DeMarcus Lawrence has what, 1, 2 sacks?
Yeah.
We're coming.
We're coming. 1.5, I think. No, true.
You can see the room getting small, the space there getting smaller for number 9, Joshua Dobbs. He got a little taste of us last year when he was with Tennessee, week 17. He's going to get a huge dose of us this game, week 3.
So, and of course, we also heard from DeMarcus Lawrence, who, is taking his leadership role here on the team very seriously, and he had a few things to say. So, starting off with, be who we are. Come back to the lab each and every day, work on our fundamentals, and I feel like times like this, when you're 2-0 and you've got the hype around the team, things can get out of whack. People can let that self-confidence lead them into some things that they don't need to be in. We just need to make sure we maintain our focus on the Cardinals this week and do what we need to do.
Again, veteran guidance, I guess you can say there from DeMarcus. And he's showing out with now Osa coming up. Of course, Micah always leading the way. And Marcus Lawrence is playing all, Pro Bowl style right now.
So,
he was a Pro Bowler last year.
And DeMarcus Lawrence made it very clear that, it doesn't really care what quarterback you're going to put him up against. He said, quote, doesn't matter who's back there. We're going to hunt. I feel like every week we'll be facing a running quarterback. If you're not a running quarterback, you're going to want to make sure that your legs work that week.
They're going to have him running is the point. And that's the goal here against Joshua Dobbs. We're going to talk about Josh Dobbs in a minute. So keep tuned in for this.
So, and Tank said, that's a standard of my game. I set that standard a long time ago. If I'm on the field, D-Law is going to set the edge against the run and going to make tackles for a loss. It's now all about getting that ball. I feel like I'm playing well. It really doesn't even feel like it's been 10 years. I'm blessed and just getting after it. I feel like we have the team to do the necessary things that we want to do, and we've got the formula for winning down pat.
Agreed.
Yeah, so if they know A plus B equals C,
yeah.
Well, now we have A and B.
Yeah, agreed.
So, and again, Tank said it. We've just got to stay on it.
Cowboys focused. I mean, you hear it from all the guys on the defense. But what about their team, their actual mastermind to the whole team? The head honcho of the defense, Dan Quinn. He spoke about specifically someone named Micah Parsons in this thing. And, I love the way that the mental, kind of focuses by every single leader on this defense, whether it's Osa, who's just emerging right now, but DeMarcus Lawrence, the veteran, and Micah, the best player on our team. And then you got to look at, the Dan Quinn effect and what he's saying about what Micah Parsons is going to bring to the table here, entering his, this now 3rd week of his 3rd season in the NFL.
Micah Parsons is the table. But Dan Quinn had this to say in relation to Micah Parsons. He has really worked his ass off this offseason. He's faster, his hands are better, his rushing is better. So just that jump that you'd hope somebody would make, it was intentional about how he put the work in. He's definitely playing better than he ever was, which is saying a lot. Yeah, and he already was that good. So
I mean, Micah's been dominant. Micah's getting. That's why I said every year he could have stayed his rookie year. He's still been a top 5 edge rusher and linebacker, but he's gotten better every year. And you see him putting the work. You know he's putting the work in every year, and you can see him getting so much better and playing towards his skill set. Dan Quinn already knows what he needs to do with Micah domination. Now, is he the one? We all know that if Micah gets hurt, something. I'm not going to wood don't happen, but if something ever happens to Micah, the defense is going to slow down in a big way. Is that the way Dan Quinn sees it? Because I know he made a comment about what Micah's, basically, is Micah Parsons the straw that stirs that drink for our Cowboys?
So Dan Quinn said he's definitely one of the straws. There's no doubt about it. He's so unique in the way that he plays. He's off ball, he's inside, he's outside, but I would say that his uniqueness allows us to do things. Without some of the other players, we wouldn't be able to do that because of people being able to move and play with each other and do things. It is part of the fun, and you haven't seen it all yet for sure, but we're just hopefully getting started on how we're going to feature everybody. He's a lot of fun to coach because he's definitely up for whatever challenge we throw at him. You want him to play corner? Oh, I'll do that. He wants to block a punt. He wants to be on special teams. He wants to carry the ball. He is a true competitor at his core.
And everything you just said about, one of the straws. Look at this here, this combination. So this is Micah. Breaking up the inside there, double, triple teamed almost, gets the sack. But then no more sacks for Micah in this game. Look what he does, though. That's why he's one of the straws. Here's DeMarcus Lawrence. Osa right behind him. Here's DeMarcus Lawrence. Here's Micah on the outside. Taking on triple teams. That's why Doris Armstrong and others can make the play. They get the sack. Double teamed here. So Osa can get the sack. You understand what I'm saying here? Micah now in the middle, moving across the line. The other guy's getting the sack. Osa, I think, that time. That was 2 last week. You understand what's going on here, guys? This is complete domination from Micah Parsons, and he's one of the straws. That's my point. His movement around is why the other straws also mix it. I believe Micah's the biggest straw. And I think everybody can agree with that.
It's like the milkshake straw?
Yeah, he's like those big, thicker milkshake straws. He's the biggest straw that stirs this thing. So, again, we got kind of the Dan Quinn. I don't know if you had anything else to say. Or
as far as Dan Quinn, that was it.
Or anybody else.
I do have a very short little blurb
All right.
from Sam Williams, Trayvon Diggs, as well.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's finish
up strong.
I think that's it as far as I'm like.
And then we're going to talk about the the injuries and the Cardinals offense.
But Sam Williams said that he wasn't able to talk about his arrest from late August, but that he learned from it and is maturing.
Well, hopefully he does, and we'll see that throughout the next couple of months and seasons.
I'm assuming he said that because there's still a pending investigation.
Yeah.
But Trayvon Diggs also spoke a little bit. He was asked if he knows the passer rating that opposing quarterbacks have against him this season. He's like, oh,
he said,
no.
Shh. No, I'm just joking.
He's like, no, what is it? Take your best guess.
1.0. We did this yesterday. I remember that, yeah.
Diggs said, damn.
Yeah, don't get it into your head, Diggs, but I think Trayvon's ready to really continue doing what he's doing. I mean, again, like I told you guys, what did I say this entire offseason once we got Stephon Gilmore? What did I say? Pay this guy, and we did. Pay him because he's going to have his best season he's ever had in the NFL because he's got Stephon Gilmore and this pass rush that keeps getting better. But Stephon Gilmore added to this thing makes his ability to cover a lot easier. A lot easier. An example is going to be this week. They have some young guys that can really put up some numbers, but can either of these guys beat Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs? The answer is a big fat no. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it tonight here on My Cowboys. I mean, we're talking about this defense for a reason. We're going to talk about the Cardinals' offense here in a few minutes. So, Trayvon Diggs.
I mean,
doesn't have to even know the stats. He's just shutting people down.
Okay, so no, I thought you wanted me to read the comment. I'm like, didn't I?
No, yeah, is that everything?
Read that? Yeah, I told you that was it. That they really didn't have too much going on. So let me go ahead and hit up the chat for a little bit here. And yes, I know for a fact that Jerry's, selling the backup helicopter to make sure that we get Micah signed to a contract as soon as possible.
Trust me, Jerry don't have to sell anything. $35 million a year is what Micah's looking at or more.
So, it's funny. Jared Morrison said, Tolbert's getting a 100-yard game before Gallup for sure. It definitely seems that way again. The connection between Dak Prescott and Tolbert seems
weird
to be there.
Because he's had that connection with Michael Gallup for a while.
He used to, but again, post-injury, it doesn't seem like Gallup has found his footing quite yet. And I know it's still kind of early-ish in the season and other stuff, but we are still heading towards week 3, and I do still think it's a valid point to say, hey, we still want to continue to see, Gallup getting involved and getting those opportunities.
I think it was more scheme-based in this game. We'll have to see how that continues for Michael Gallup.
All right, so rolling back here, and again, I appreciate that double R. We do love our mod squad. They really are.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, Rolando Rodriguez said, in My Cowboys Family, isn't the lion referred to as the king of the jungle? There's a song about it back in the day? Yes.
Yes. And Micah is.
The jungle, the mighty jungle. But this lion is not sleeping tonight.
No.
The lion's on the prowl.
Micah's ready.
I personally, talking about Micah's little crawl, I call it the prowl.
The prowl?
I liked it. Yeah, the lion, the lion's prowl or something like that. Or, the prowling lion. Or, I don't know, something like that.
I like the lion crawl. I like that.
Yeah, so, or, the hungry lion, too, just because, again, he just got finished.
He's been saying that for a while.
Eating one of his prey.
Yeah, killing one of his.
So,
and about to, chasing off anyone that cares.
So to me, the hungry lion, but at the same time, if you're doing it after a sack, doesn't that kind of imply that you're full? But at the same time, full implies that you're not trying to eat anymore, but we're still trying to eat, so.
It's a win-win across the board. Micah Parsons for MVP, said Jason Renfro. Asmodeus said for the name of this, pouncing. Tyrone Church in the house said, I love the CD celebration. Yeah, that nose wipe for the first down. I love it. Much love, Tyrone Church. Stephen White said the Doomsday Crawl. That's a good one, too. Dave in the house. Jared Morrison. Scorpio said also Mike MVP. I mean, he's in the conversation. I mean, rarely is a defensive player in the conversation. So, Scorpio, Cam, El Fuego. Much love to everybody in the house here hanging with us. I don't know if there's any other comments, or we're ready to move on to Mike McCarthy and the updates on injuries.
Oh, Fuego 2.0 said Tyreek Hill said he's going to do Parsons dirty and Parsons clap back. Oh, yeah, again. Micah Parsons is not the strong and silent type. He's a strong and loud type. So
I'm excited to see when they try to do that. How's it going to work when, again, will they even get a chance to do the crawl against Micah?
Yep.
No, they won't. They won't. They ain't gonna
but yeah, Cam, take it easy. Much love. Have a great night. Tyrone Church said the lion stealth.
I like that.
So I'm waiting for Micah to piss on the field to mark his territory.
Right on the quarterbacks. Okay, anyway. Micah, I think right now, he's just scaring the piss out of every quarterback in the NFL. That's what I think.
Translation, what's up? Much love. Asmodeus in the house said pouncing.
Yep.
So a big mahalo to you, Mark. Aloha. Hello and hi.
Big Mark in the house. Sponsor of the week. Always appreciate the man with the plan, with the record here, but always representing with us here with the family, on My Cowboys Family. And now we're going to start breaking things down. You came in at a perfect timing, Mark, because we talked a lot here about stats and racks and all that stuff, but now we're going to really get down to the nitty-gritty, let's say it that way. Assistant coach, again, this is, our head coach, Mike McCarthy, said and gave an update today on the condition and what the plan is for Sheriff Floyd. He was at the facility, at the Cowboys, at the Star, but went home. So he's doing like a hybrid, like half-day kind of stuff over there.
All right.
He's still dealing with the effects of that medical issue, which we don't really know what happened yet. So obviously they're keeping it close to the vest and hoping the best for
honestly,
Sheriff Floyd.
It sounds like the doctors don't even quite 100% know.
Again, they know. It's more something that McCarthy and the Cowboy organization is trying to keep under wraps, out of privacy situation, which they should do. So again, McCarthy said that the defensive line coach, Sheriff Floyd, will not be involved in practice today. Was not involved in practice. And, this is, of course, after feigning on the sideline Sunday after that Micah Parsons, ball rip out and almost touchdown, I guess we thought it was going to be. But he was, in his office this morning, quote, from McCarthy, we're going to take it easy with him and be smart. So good. Take care of, make sure he's good on the health side of things. And Sheriff Floyd taking it easy. We'll see if he plays, not plays, but if he participates and coaches in the game or not. I don't see him participating in this week's game against the Cardinals. Now, McCarthy also said about, the last practices they brought up. I know Gilmore, I think, had a birthday. Trayvon Diggs today. I think Gilmore had a birthday recently. McCarthy said the Cowboys watched old videos of Stephon Gilmore when he played quarterback in high school. That's how they celebrated his birthday yesterday. It's great that our 21-7, our cornerbacks are also, have back-to-back birthdays. But Gilmore was playing quarterback in high school and celebrated his birthday yesterday, and McCarthy celebrated by watching old film. You know what McCarthy said, quote, "It looked like it was on VHS."
Nah.
Yeah, they all laughed about that. But again, so meaning that Gilmore's kind of old comparatively to the guys we have on our team. So make it a little cracked up. Now, let's get serious here. Let's talk about a couple of the injury concerns for our team and the guys we've been missing for a while. And
Gilmore's old enough. It definitely could have been some converted VHS tapes.
Might have been right at the brink. But the thing is this, you got to remember, the guys that we're missing on offense against a very good quality Jets defense, Tyler Smith, guys. Tyler Smith with the hamstring. According to McCarthy, expected to practice today, which is great news. He said, quote, "I expect Tyler Smith to practice." And don't forget, we also got a guy named Zach Martin on the offensive line. He said, and Zach will be on the rehab team today. Don't forget, there's another guy to talk about here, Chuma Edoga. 3 offensive linemen banged up, injured, missing a lot of time so far on that field, except for Zach Martin, although at the end of the game he did have to come out. He said Chuma Edoga will do some work today. So great news for our entire offensive line, injury crew here. Chuma Edoga, the backup, who's played out of his mind, right? So right now doing good at guard as a backup for Tyler Smith. He seems like he will be doing work on that field. Zach Martin, they're just treating him, I think, with veteran, kind of mindset and just no practice really this week. Although they said he'll be in the rehab team. And then Tyler Smith, like I said, will practice today according to McCarthy. And we're going to check that list, that injury list, to see what's going on on the updates on that side of things. 2 other guys, of course, injured that missed games. And really, one of them hasn't played yet. But the other guy is Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks, according to McCarthy, with the knee issue, will, quote, work today. That's what he said. Also said the same exact thing about our defensive safety power. And Donovan Wilson said also he will be doing some work today on that field. So again, Brandon Cooks, important that both him and Donovan Wilson get practice, get a little bit of on the field work, and hopefully gets on that gets to play this week. And we haven't even seen Donovan Wilson this year yet. And again, he's an important player. I know how important Donovan Wilson is to this team, and in Mike McCarthy, but in Dan Quinn's defense. But according to Mike McCarthy, again, Donovan Wilson with that calf strain back at the beginning of the first day of training camp said that he may make his season debut against the Cardinals. McCarthy called him, quote, an impact player. He said his teammates feed off of his play style. He's a big part of our standard of how we play defense. You feel Donovan when he's on the field, and that 100%, you do feel Donovan Wilson when he's on the field. You'll see the difference, the impact, and the way he hits you. He's like a better version of Overshown, like at this point of their careers, right? Without question, Donovan Wilson is a massive, upgrade on our. I love Marquise Bell and Wanye Thomas, but a huge upgrade with Donovan Wilson now playing full time at the third safety spot there, hybrid linebacker spot. Now, as far as the actual practice today and the practice report and stuff like that, Donovan Wilson was on the practice field today, and Donovan Wilson was a full participant. Huge news there, in my humble opinion. So again, I love the fact that we have, it looks like we have, I'm knocking on wood here, a full-fledged defense on that field. No issues, no injuries, no nothing. Now, there was one guy missing on the field on defense today, another guy, I should say, number 1, Jaron Kearse. Now, you're saying, we're in trouble. Keep in mind, guys, he was not on the field. He was sick and not practicing. He had an illness. That's why he was on the injury report or the practice report. Again, all signs point he'll be fine for the game. So, good news, I guess, for him not being there. Good news. I hope he feels better and gets back soon. But Donovan Wilson, big news. Full participant in practice. This means, what does this mean, MCF? This means Donovan Wilson's playing. Motherfucking correct. As long as there's no back steps or anything on his rehab. I don't know if that's the right word. As long as there's nothing, any issues on the rehab finishing up or this week, he's going to play against the Cardinals and hopefully play the rest of the season with no issues. That's the hope. So Donovan Wilson on defense. Jaron Kearse with the illness on defense. Both guys will play in this game on Sunday against the Cardinals. Great news there defensively. Now, let's go to some of the other guys we got to talk about because, again, I look at the offensive side of the ball, and I'm looking at Tyler Smith. What an upgrade that I love what Chuma Edoga's done. What an upgrade it would be to have him in the game. And again, this will be his first game of the season. So Tyler Smith, the hamstring injury, today was limited on the field. He was on the practice field. This is the first time he's been on the field since September 4th. He's missed the first 2 games so far, of course, with that hamstring strain. And he, even though on the field, guys, and that's a great thing. Like Donovan Wilson, he still was listed as limited. They're still taking it easy with working him back. But he's on the cusp. Should be playing this game, I think. But we'll see if he's limited today, tomorrow, and full practice on Friday. He will play, in my opinion, in this game, make his season debut as well. Great news there. What about Zach Martin? Well, I'll wait with Zach Martin. What about Chuma Edoga? Let's go with him next because he's the guy that's been replacing Tyler Smith. If Tyler Smith cannot play, what about our backup, Chuma Edoga? Well, Chuma Edoga, guys, was also on the field today, and he was also, just like Tyler Smith, limited as far as practice today. So Edoga has the elbow issue. We know he's hyperextended it some. Did some work on the field, but it is limited on as far as the injury report. Just means that if he's good to go, like if he's, again, full practice by Friday, should be good to go. So it means both offensive linemen at that position, Edoga and Tyler Smith, hopefully, I'm knocking on that wood that they're good to go. As far as our receiver, Brandon Cooks, on the field, of course, again today, which is great to see. Brandon Cooks had that knee issue, was limited in this practice session, which is similar to the way he ended last week. The point here is, he said if he's on the field, he's playing. He's on the field today. That means, listen, no setbacks. He'll be full practice by Friday. He'll be playing on Sunday. Another upgrade. Even though Tolbert did great and Gallup tried, I guess he didn't have the best game. Cook's going to open things up for everybody if he's on that field and give the Cardinals even more headaches. He should be good in this game to play. But again, was limited in practice. So those are our limited guys. There were 2 guys that were not on the field today, unfortunately. And again, one of them was Jaron Kearse, which we already discussed. The other guy is Zach Martin. Not on the field. McCarthy said he was going to be out there, but not out there today, guys. Kearse was out because of the illness, but we know it's about Zach Martin and his groin last week. He got rolled on near the end zone last game. After
by
that,
Pollard, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if it was a Pollard or was another.
Someone in our chat had mentioned that Pollard rolled into the tank.
It was on the Pollard play that he fell onto, I think, Zach's ankle. But this was when it was 27-10, but mind you, and we were just trying to just run for a field goal, a touchdown, which we did get, and we got a penalty. But then we had to kick the field goal eventually. With the, again, scale, I will say the very ultra conservative playbook at that time with the score the way it was against that defense. So with no Zach Martin on the field, he was listed as with an ankle injury, which is, we know it's not the groin now, it's the ankle, and he did not practice once again. Now, I don't know how much the groin affected him from last week, but if it was a groin too, they would have put back they would have put both injuries down.
Okay.
If they had that issue. So again, not good news about Zach Martin, but I truly think it's more of a veteran rest day than it is like, oh, he's in trouble, he can't play kind of
I
situation.
agree, especially considering, I swear at the beginning of the week, I made a joke, I'm like, just rest him till game day. Like, it still seems like the better idea if he is a little bit banged up. So, yeah, I'm just going to stick with my original rest him till game day.
He'll probably be a guy that,
If it was anybody else, I'd say, I don't know, you might want him to practice.
Yeah,
I trust Zach Martin to not need the practice.
Me too, but the thing is, we got to know where he's at. How injured is he really? I mean, he already said this week he's going to play. So he should be okay. I think it's more being just a vet day. Kind of what we do with Tyron Smith. If he gets a bruise, he don't practice the whole week, and then he goes in there and plays great. I think that's the same thing we're going to see with Zach Martin. Although, again, the groin last week, the ankle now, gotta hope that it doesn't eventually catch up with him, right? So hopefully, Zach Martin, is just taking extra caution here, and just the Cowboys are just hoping to just get him full blast, 100% for the game. That's my belief on this. We'll have to wait and see. And, I think by the end of the week he'll be limited in the practice, and I think he'll be questionable for the game. They'll list him as questionable to keep the Cardinals guessing. I expect him to play, though. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. Now, the Cardinals, on their side of things, guys, not very good. Again, not many injuries left because Budda Baker as you know, out as far as on IR. Well,
right?
no, he's on IR for at least 4 weeks. So again, when you look at that Cardinal defense, oof, it's kind of looking.
Left?
It's kind of looking like this. You know what I mean? So again, when it comes to the Cardinals, we know that Budda Baker is not playing and he's out for 4 weeks, but at least 4 weeks. Carlos Watkins, former Cowboy, and their starting defensive tackle. He's on the injury report with a bicep injury. He's going to need surgery, guys. He's out. They're not listing him out yet. He's going to head into IR. He'll be out for the next 4 weeks or more with the bicep injury. Did not practice today. Another guy at linebacker has an ankle issue. Josh Woods at linebacker did not practice as well. Don't look good for him, but he's a depth guy. Now, I will say a guy who to me is a starter for them. I think he's a defensive tackle. Kind of like that. Let's think about Mozzie Smith, or Jonathan Hankins type guy. Lakey Fotu, interior defensive lineman, has a shoulder issue, was limited in practice. Something to watch. I think he'll be okay. I think Biotish will be okay too, taking him on. And then Kelvin Beachum. I will say this is their best chance to get this guy back because, again, he didn't play last week. Kelvin Beachum is probably now if he gets back on that offensive line, he'll be their best player. He was at full practice with that hand injury. So good news for us, at least on that side. We'll have a good test with Kelvin Beachum, who definitely upgrades the line a little bit more. We'll talk more about that tonight here in a couple of minutes when it comes to the Cardinal breakdown. But Jonathan Gannon, which is the coach of the Cardinals, confirmed that Carlos Watkins is heading for surgery. Be on IR soon with the bicep injury. And of course, Budda Baker, not going to be available for the next 4 weeks at the very least.
Yeah, so honestly, on one hand, I don't want the Cowboys to get too carried away. On the other hand, if we don't beat this team by some ridiculous amount or do some crazy stuff here, I'm going to be highly disappointed.
Yeah, I feel you, baby. We should roll over. We should just destroy this Cardinal team. Destroy them. No joke. And they really should end up like this. They should end up real angry. They might even come out of this retarded. Anyways, point is, Cowboys should be doing this to the Cardinals this week. Look, with a win on Sunday, the Cowboys will be 3-0 to start this season. The last time, we were there live for that.
Yeah.
2019 season there, we were 3-0, and we missed the playoffs entirely that year. We were 8-8. We were also 3-0 in 2008, the last two times. Both these teams missed the playoffs. 2008, 2019. So I think this is a different team. So the Cardinals aren't going to stand in our way, in my opinion. Prior to 2008, every team in franchise history with a 3-0 record made it to the playoffs at the very least. 3 of them won the Super Bowl. So keep that in mind. If we want to turn that page and erase the last bunch of 20 years of shit, then let's play up to this standard that we had before 2008. So that's my expectation by knocking these Cardinals out. Now, when you look at our score, the Cowboys on our offense, right? Our scoring average, 28.3 points per game since the start of last year. So last year and then these 2 games this year, that is the most in the NFL. 28.3 points per game. In that same time frame, 2002 through this year, the Cardinals are allowing an average of 26.3 points per game. That's the second most in the entire NFL. So we literally are having, we're the best points per game team. I know I was Kellen Moore slants in there, but you also have the Cardinals themselves who allow 26.3 points since last year. Second most in the NFL. I'm not scared, are you? I know Mark ain't scared. I know Mark's not scared. He dropped that 5 on it. Woo. $5 holler by the man Marco Sepien. What did the man say?
He said, if any players had any injury, hold them out. Let's see Gallup another game. Let's see our backup guards take advantage of a lame team and heal up. Like, why push?
Not a bad. Actually, I'm not really in disagreement of that. I mean, the other thing we got, and I thought about that. Mark, we're more in tune than you think. I thought about that, but you know what? I was thinking about this on this stream. You know why Brandon Cooks is going to push himself to play? Do you know why Donovan Wilson is going to push himself to play? Do you know why all these guys are going to push themselves to play? Because number one, they're able to, right? They're past the definite we're good to go kind of line. They've already been held out. I mean, I don't think Tyler Smith has to be pushed yet, but my point is that I think these guys want to play because it's good for their contracts. The incentives that Jerry Jones writes into these contracts that they agree to. that is partially the thing. They feel good enough to go. They're not going to miss a game against the Cardinals. They can stack some stats. You know what I mean? I mean, it's true, right? I mean, let's be realists about this. Go out there, and any of these guys have a big game. They hit the incentives. They get another $500,000. I mean, shit. Would you want to miss out on this opportunity?
Hell no.
I'm just saying, it's hard to balance that combination of team and individual goals, but that's the way the Cowboys make these contracts. And again, to me, it's fair for the players to say, hey, I want to play this week even more so because it's the Cardinals and we get to fucking dice them and slice them up with our top potentials here, with our top team. So Tyler Smith, probably, rookie contract, not that big of a deal. When you look at Brandon Cooks, Donovan Wilson, who just got a contract but still wants to, bounce off another big contract. You're not going to miss these stats here. You're not going to miss that. Zach Martin can take it easy, and Tyler Smith, I think, can take it easy. But Udoka wants to get on that field and show he'll do that because he's going to be a free agent after this year, right? So you guys feel me? Am I making sense? Maybe I just came to this in the stream when we were talking about Brandon Cooks. Mark brought it up. It kind of matched up my mindset from 10 minutes ago. I didn't say anything about it, but he propped it out in my head there, and I do think that that's a great point. I mean, should we hold these guys back against the Cardinals? Yeah. I think we could make a damn good point about
that. Again,
that.
I think that you can hold them back without necessarily just taking it easy or doing nothing or whatever. So, again, we just don't need to go as hard. That's it. So to me, holding them back isn't don't let them do anything. It's just can you maybe reel them in a tiny bit type of situation, right? There's a whole realm in between there.
I agree. I agree. Great point by Mark, though, and it kind of sparked my thought on that, too.
Ronald Rodriguez wants to know, do you have a bet with your brother on who's going to win your game? I know your brother's a diehard Cardinals fan.
Yeah, we don't. I don't bet on the Cowboys. I don't even bet my brother on the Cowboys, but, I think
bragging rights.
Bragging rights, definitely. He's been bragging for fucking six contests, before we had our share of huge wins against them. But man, we're gonna win this game. There's no way we're gonna allow this shit to take us down. So, anyways, now as we get to the Cardinals, much love Rolando Rodriguez and everybody else in the house. Don't forget, as we're gonna break these Cardinals down. Their offense about to be broken down, but. Hit that thumbs up, hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. And most importantly, guys, make sure to hop in the Discord as well. Link is down below in the description box. There's some people here representing, though. We got to show the love to, like our sponsor of the week, Marco Seppi, and much love. Like Jason Renfro, the stream boss, repping it with 71.
Yeah.
Points on the board. Much love. Thank you very much to SnugX, representing it 6 weeks in a row as the Cash App King.
The gifter, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say, last but not least, the membership champion.
The Don.
Ron the Don Smith.
Yes. Now, you talk about the leaders this week in the Cash Apps. Roger Dada Asher, he's still in the lead there on the Cash App side. You got a couple battles going on in the gifting side of memberships here. You got Jason Renfro and Brandon James in a tie for second place, but in first place, the man always stays skeptical. Skeptical fan, much love. He has 2 in there. He's got a safety on that board. Much love in that battle. We'll see who wins it at the end of the week. Right now, Ron the Don's holding it down on the overall board, baby. For that sponsor of the week, again, Mark's got the back-to-back, but he's not in first place right now. I think he's in second by himself, but in first place, it's Mr. John Montgomery. Much love to him as he's still in the top spot so far for this week, night 3 of MCF. So, baby, I'll shut up because I know we're going to continue our Arizona Cardinal breakdown with, again, we just talked about our offense scoring points, right? The Cardinals are one of the worst in stopping teams from scoring points. Mm-hmm. So what is their defensive coordinator? We're going to dive deeper into their defense tomorrow. But I want to know what their defensive coordinator spoke today. His name is Nick Rallis. All right, he used to be, if the name sounds familiar, he was the Philadelphia Eagles linebacker coach in 2021 and 2022. Really? Yeah, but he actually knows Dak Prescott because of that. Linebackers coach. Now he's their defensive coordinator in Arizona. So I want to know what he has to say about Dak Prescott.
Oh.
Let us know what he said.
Dak can beat you dropping back. He can beat you throwing quick game. He can beat you play action, boot, getting out of the pocket, throwing in the pocket, throwing on time, not on time, extending plays. That is hard to defend. When people are not one-dimensional, pick your poison, what do you want to take away? And whatever you end up taking away, you better do a good job with the other things. Dak is well-rounded, and that offense is rolling. His versatility, his decision-making right now is leading them to playing good on offense.
And you've seen this as a playoff game from last year with Kellen Moore offense. Dak can do it in this style. He can do it in the Mike McCarthy style. That's the great thing about Dak, and his footwork's gotten better. You know, even some newscasters, Tony Romo's out there, they seen the difference in Dak. Dak can do this once every 4 or 5 games, and Dak can do what he's been doing every game that he's been doing so far on the other games. You know, we don't need to pull Dak and put all the pressure on him. When you got to put the pressure, he'll get it done. He's done it before. But I'm just saying, like, you don't have to do it every single game, and that's the key here. It's almost like resting Micah a little bit more, keep him good for the season. It's almost like you're saying, hey, Dak, let's not show everything we have. Let's only pop out the Dak game once every 3, 4, 5 games. And let's let, other people win the same. We don't have to have Dak against Dak himself said to Sauce Gardner after that game against the Jets, the win on Sunday. Sauce like, why don't you throw more to my side? Dak's like, we don't have to. There's no need to. That was not Kellen Moore thinking. That's Mike McCarthy thinking. And there's no need. So, again, on a defense that has a good secondary and a good pass rush and a good young defensive team like the Jets, Cowboys just picked their weakness and attacked it. That's it. I think we'll make every defense kind of look a little worse. I think the Niners and the Eagles are going to be the biggest test for us, for our offense against a real defense. I think that comes, twice against the Eagles and once against the Niners, and maybe the Bills later on and others. But the Jets only scored, an overtime. We're 16 points in regulation against the Bills and their defense. And the Bills only scored. The Bills only scored 16 points against the Jets, and we scored 24 points of offense and 30 points in the game. Much love to Mark Hovsepian, by the way, who takes Jason Renfro down to 69 points on the stream boss. What did Mark Hovsepian have to say with that $2 J. Lou holler?
When have you heard a coach say that, player X sucks dick?
Never. You never see that. Maybe once in a while. They say, this person
the point
pissing
is,
me
though,
off.
that,
this player is
coach isn't going to straight up say, this person sucks.
I agree. What did I say? What was that in reference to? I missed it.
I'm guessing where you were talking about, or I guess after my quote about their defensive coordinator talking about Dak, Nick Ross. Whatever his last name
I
is.
see what yeah, Nick Rollis. Yeah, no, I think that's what I understand what he's saying. Basically, he's not going to say Dak sucks, but I think what he's talking about Dak, about the versatility, Dak's well-rounded. These are the things I'm trying to bring up, but Dak he's making some good points. And again, this guy knows Dak specifically more than others because he was the linebacker coach in Philadelphia for the last 2 seasons and saw a lot of Dak Prescott. So when it comes to, I'm going to flip it around. Well, I guess when you keep it with the Cardinals defense, all right? Overall, as we've seen Dak here from last year in the playoff game, we're going to dive much deeper into the defense tomorrow. We're going to hit the offense here and call it a night. The Cardinals' defensive front is pretty light. They're not a heavy front. They're going to get moved by our linemen, offensive linemen. Believe it or not. If we got to imagine this is the week we get all 5 guys in there. We're going to be moving around one of the worst defensive lines as far as heft in the NFL. We're going to be moving them all over the field, guys. If we can, secure a couple second level linebacker blocks against the Cardinal defense, this is going to be a big day on the ground. You're going to see a lot of Tony Pollard taking it. He might get over 120 yards, 150 yards for Pollard on the ground. Enrico Dowdle's going to get involved. The Duke's going to get loose. I'm just saying, I can see this being a big running day. Not because it works better overall for the year, no, because it works better for this matchup. Just saying. We can go in the air as well. That's the thing here, guys. But I think the big day on the ground is a common theme. If the Cowboys want to run against the Cardinals over and over again, I think we will be moving them 4 or 5 yards every carry, possibly. So, can you really go away from that? That can slice them and dice them, but do we have to? There's no need. I don't know. We'll see what happens. On the flip side, then you look at their pass coverage. When you look at their pass rush and pass coverage together in tandem, like ours, that is the pass defense. They have the 3rd most sacks. So, okay, you're thinking to yourself, oh shit, 3rd most sacks. They did play the shitty Giants offensive line. We know how easy that was. And, I don't think that they were winning the Washington offensive line as well. They're not that good. So they have the 3rd most sacks. But here's the key, here's the context inside of that number of, okay, 2 games, the Cardinals is 3rd best in sacks in the NFL. But They are 17th when it comes in pressures. So they don't get to the quarterback, but they're getting sacks. Is that an anomaly? Is that sustainable? I think exactly what I just said there is what it is. They're 21st in pressure percentage. So they don't get pressure. They get sacks.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's more of an anomaly. Against our offensive,
not as consistent.
Yeah, our offensive line is a top 10 offensive line when they're all healthy. They may be all healthy this weekend. That number is going to change. Dak has gotten sacked once in 2 games. No turnovers or interceptions for Dak in 2 games. We got 2 big wins though, so it's working right. It's just a strange I'm just saying it's a strange comparison to me in my mind to see a team with 3rd in sacks but 17th and 21 when it comes to pressure. So I'm not really too worried about them on defense. We'll break them down tomorrow. Let's flip the script here, baby, and let's go to the defensive side for our Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals offensive side. To me, I think we're going to see a lot of, you're going to see maybe some retardals out there, but you're going to see some angry birds. And I think in this scenario, when it comes to the Cardinals, I guess, offensive coordinator against this defense, we're going to talk about their offense now. They're going to end up like this, pretty much. I mean, at least Dobbs and all the quarterbacks, running backs, everybody's going to end up like this on that Cardinal offense. So, without further ado, baby, what did their offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing, what did he say when he was asked, how the living hell do you stop Micah Parsons?
Oh, he said, so far, I don't think you can. But that's our task. I think that's going to be the focus. Obviously, he's one of the better defensive players in the entire league, so he's earned that respect. And certainly, we're going to give him that respect in terms of the way that we call the game. Put the plan together and go out there and try to execute.
So now you know their game plan against Micah Parsons. It doesn't sound like they have much of a plan, I'm going to be honest. But let's quickly talk about this, because when you look at the Cardinals and their offense, let's leave it like this. Actually, let's leave it like this. Let's give them a little more respect, all right, for the Cardinals, because I do want to bring up some of their, again, we do treat them with respect. Every opponent we treat with respect. So I do want to take a look at a couple of these guys and get a little deeper. On the offensive, respectfully. And let's give them the fair shake they deserve. The Cardinals head-to-head breakdown when it comes to their offense against our defense. We talked about our defense. We talked about our team the whole night. Let's talk about the Cardinals for a minute and see what they got. They come into the season with a lot of questions at quarterback. Kyler Murray, he's going to return from the torn ACL in around week 8, 9, or 10. That gives him some time to prove his worth. That's their issues for them. They got a whole lot of issues when it comes to that money situation with their quarterback. So now they went and picked up and traded for Joshua Dobbs, which we saw him last year against Tennessee Titans. He was the Tennessee Titans starting quarterback in that Week 17 game. He did all right. He was definitely a scrambler. I think Micah Parsons actually made a mention about that. He remembers from him last year. He was a guy who ran a lot. But that's the purpose. We want to make these guys run a lot. You know what I mean? We'll be chasing them. So, again, their backup quarterback, Joshua Dobbs. You see him here, number 9 on your screen. He's been playing with mixed results. There's some good and bad with him. Against the Giants, he came out, looked to be the Week 2 surprise player by halftime for the Cardinals against the Giants defense. Then he threw and rushed for a touchdown to help the Cardinals be up in the third quarter 28-7. But then he went cold, couldn't find anybody open, failed to kind of get any offense to maintain the lead, and then the Giants had that huge comeback win. So he was kind of one of the reasons why they kind of broke down there. He just couldn't do anything, get anything going. It wasn't even turnovers or issues like that. Now, if he's having trouble with the Giants defense, which is, again, it's all right. It's not as good as the Jets, but it's all right. I mean, we played against them. We still got 40 points on them, but again, we don't have that defense. The Cardinals just went cold. So their best offensive weapon, okay, forget Joshua Dobbs. He's just the backup. He's the guy who's going to be mobile. He's going to be running around back there, so we got to make sure we're ready to run as well. And I know we heard from Micah, this defense is ready. Osa, Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence, they all spoke. They're all ready. Stop the run, but attack when they throw. And again, that's why I'm saying, going back to the run game, another one of the keys I think we'll talk about at the end of the week and the weekend. The best offensive weapon the Cardinals have is their starting running back, James Conner. Number 6, you see him right there, dead center. Not the dead bird, but the dead center right there, James Conner. He had 106 yards against the Giants All right, and he also scored a touchdown against the Giants last week. His biggest issue, though, is touches. He's getting overworked. He's getting run into the ground. He now has 37 rush attempts and 5 catches in the first 2 weeks of the season. So how long will he burn out? How long will he have that first, like, oh shit, I can't carry the load anymore kind of situation, especially against a defense like us? Now he catches the ball 5 over 2 games. He has 5 catches, but he has a lot of other rushing. You have 37 rush attempts, so they're going to work him on the ground as much as they can, and even probably more so because they know they don't want to throw against our defense. So again, they're going to have to spell him sometimes. Who comes in for number 6 when he can't do it? A rookie running back, Keanthony Ingram. He has 7 rush attempts for an average of 0.3 yards per carry. He gets a foot, not a yard. He gets a foot per carry. Not very good for him, 7 rush attempts. Keep an eye, though, on number 6, James Conner. That's their best chance on offense for them to put up any points. He was injured last week. He was not on the injury report today. But he was banged up last week and got the last second, okay to play in the game last week. Will he have any lingering issues from the beating he took against the Giants? Not listed on the injury report, but might not be 100%. So James Conner, their best playmaker, scorer guy, can they get him the ball and can they block us? We'll talk about that as well. Now, what about in the air? All right, Marquise Hollywood Brown, not pictured, but he came from the Ravens. He's the Cardinals' number 1 receiver right now, and he's also their actual leading receiver on the field. He has an unbelievable speed burst, and he has some speed, and there's some danger with him. He's also a very smart player, but since being traded to the Cardinals in 2022, his production has slipped, and so far this year, he only has 82 yards and 1 touchdown, and all that came, basically he couldn't get anything in week 1. All that came against the Giants. With that touchdown, the touchdown came against the Giants, but 82 yards in 2 games. It's pitiful. So I'm not worried about Marquise Brown, especially. Listen, here's the thing. Who's covering these guys again? Oh, yeah. Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore and Deron Bland. Mm-hmm. So, again, the trade. I don't know. Anyone know who they are? This trade for Marquise Hollywood Brown was not a bad trade, I think, or a bad idea by the Cardinals. And, again, they wanted him matched up with Kyler Murray because they played together in Oklahoma. But with no Murray, Marquise Brown is not as big of a factor, especially with Joshua Dobbs being the quarterback. So, can they? Not a problem for me on my side in the sense of like, okay, Marquise Brown got to cover him, got to lock him down, but I'm not as worried as getting the ball to him as if Kyler Murray was in the game. You guys feel me on that? And Kyler Murray is much more mobile than Joshua Dobbs, so those 2 things right there made it even easier. I mean, we would still dominate this team, but it just made things easier for our defense. The last thing you want to do if you're the Cardinals. Now, Marquise Brown, Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, that's pretty much you don't let them get loose. You're good. Marquise Brown ranks 46th with 82 receiving yards. That's 46th among all wide receivers, and that's our number 1 guy. Behind him, who's behind him? The Cardinals' 3rd-round pick, and listen, the guy, I think from Stanford, Michael Wilson, who I really liked, I thought he would be a great, 4th, 5th receiver for the Cowboys. Well, he's their second stringer. Like, that shows you, I would not want Michael Wilson as my second receiver. I would want Michael Wilson. If we drafted him in the 3rd round, I would have liked him as our, 4th, 5th receiver. Challenge Tolbert. You're in the 5th. That's what I was thinking for Michael Wilson. He's their other starting receiver right now. And he runs great routes. But he has 3 receptions off of 4 targets so far in 2 weeks. And he has 56 yards in 2 weeks. I mean, nothing, 82 yards and 56 yards between both these guys. They're number 1 and 2 receivers. Is anything scaring you here, guys? Not a goddamn thing. Now, I give him all the credit. He has raw talent, but in college he was limited in production. These are the reasons why, teams didn't grab him, and the reason he had limited production was injury as well. So, got to keep that in mind. But again, you give him space to run, he can make up a lot of ground easily. He also, the problem is going to be going up against Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore on the outside. Is where, we're going to have lockdown abilities of Marquise Brown and Michael Wilson. There's a huge, uphill battle for someone like Michael Wilson, a 3rd-round rookie, going up against, our lockdown defensive cornerbacks. So I think they also have Rondell Moore in the mix as their 3rd receiver. I think he's their slot guy. Since entering the league, though, Rondale Moore has been inconsistent and only has 2 career touchdowns in 1 game in his career, over 100 yards of receiving yardage since being drafted in 2021. So the Cardinals already struggling with the backup, of course, struggling with the receivers getting the ball in their hands. These guys are leading their team with 82 and 56 yards receiving. Inconsistency all over the place, even if Kyler Murray was there. And like I said, James Conner is the only guy, but he's getting overworked in every single way. You got to just stop him. They will not score a point on us if we don't make any mistakes. But then you got one other guy I got to talk about here, and his name is Zach Ertz. Number 86, formerly of the Eagles, so we know him well, but we've faced him a couple of times, and, he's a danger against most teams. Never really hurt us after we got J-Ron Curse. So we have a familiar foe here in Zach Ertz. We've faced him a number of times when he was with the Eagles. Now with the Cardinals, far from the high-end talent that he was when he was in Philadelphia, but he still is a solid threat that Joshua Dobbs favors and counts on. He's like his one and only security blanket in the air. So you got to watch him. When Dobbs is in trouble, he's going to throw and fling the ball to Zach Ertz. All we got to do is cover him. So, again, Zach Ertz this year has yet to score a touchdown, but he's making a lot of catches. 2 games, he leads the Cardinals with 12 receptions and has 77 receiving yards, which is second best on the team. His blocking technique, is still getting the job done for the most part. It's getting the job done. His blocking technique still there, even though he's not as good as he used to be. So again, he can block. So the running game for James Conner, that can help him. We'll talk about the lineman in a minute, but he's a pretty good blocker still. He still gets the catches, leading the team in catches, no touchdowns. And definitely not what he used to be in Philadelphia. So the Cardinals have an experienced player in Zach Ertz. And you also got to talk about Trey McBride, I think. He's a guy who's kind of sneaky. He's been good. That's going to be an interesting matchup situation we're going to talk about later in the week. But Ertz is getting old. He's on the decline. And he's still recovering from a knee injury. It's kind of bothering him. So keep an eye on Zach Ertz in this game with the one and only. And again, to me, it's a no-brainer who you use here. Number 1, J-Ron Curse. You just blank... most of the game you just have, J-Ron Curse just following wherever Zach Ertz is. Again, when we played him with the Eagles in his final season with the Eagles, the Cardinals the last couple of times, with J-Ron Curse, Zach Ertz was held to hardly a catch. You can check the stats on this. J-Ron Curse locked his ass down. No problem against Joshua Dobbs at quarterback. Much less of a problem. Even when the Cardinals beat us, J-Ron Curse locked down Zach Ertz. Keep that in mind. The last, 2 years, that's that's the story. So, do you have any fear yet? I mean, right now, no real fear.
I was gonna say, I have a lot of pity, but no fear. Just, I guess, you know what? There is a fear. There's a fear that the Cowboys will take it way too easy, that we will rest on our previous success, and that we'll just go in there and somehow shit the bed. But again, it's not, the Cardinals somehow beat us. It's, we decided to just
beat ourselves.
Do the absolute opposite of what we should have done.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, especially the way McCarthy has kind of been very tentative and, careful about the way he's calling games. He ain't going to overlook this team. The players definitely should not overlook this team. No one should, even the fans, honestly. But if anybody needs to overlook things, let it be the fans. That's okay. We're up to the last part of the Cardinals here as we finish this tonight here and wrap it up. The offensive line. Oh, my. Look at this. Mark Hovsepian dropping that 5 on it. Much love to the man, Mark Hovsepian. Still in second place, but not far. You can see Mr. Jason Renfro as our stream boss. 64 points there. Still repping it. Still above that median point area there. And Mark Hovsepian coming with it. Dropping that 5 on it. What do you have to say, my love?
Mr. MCF.
Yes.
Let's make your job easy tonight.
What is it?
Arizona sucks dick. We are far superior.
Yes.
We can let some players rest and still kick their ass. They have no one. Aloha. So,
and
yes.
You're right. We talked about it earlier, right? Yes, This would be the week if you wanted to just give an extra rest. Why not? Sounds like the Cowboys gave the extra rest last week to some of our guys, so they could play this week. I don't know. But, again, like I said, Mark, the players want to play. They want to do this for their contracts, right?
And again, that hunger, the team is hungry, right? So,
but
Arizona.
They also want to play.
Let's be honest. Yes, Arizona
stats.
sucks. And when you want to talk about playing a bad team, Arizona is literally like one of the worst teams in the NFL, offense and defense both. So, again, there is absolutely every expectation that we should crush them. The only thing is, again, my version of taking it easy and resting the starters is the starters get a few less drives or snaps as young guys kind of go in and take over. But there's no, like, official benching of the starters until there's another 40 burger on the board and we can afford to do so type of thing. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So...
Sorry. I'm having fun and just playing around.
I can see that.
Sorry. I'm laughing. A dead bird, a retardinal. It's great. All right. Anyway,
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
I'm sorry, baby.
It's okay.
When I saw that, I know it's not politically correct, but I had to put up there for the fans. It is the Cardinals. I'm sure everybody can understand for just this 1 week. It's just a funny fucking picture. My brother was not happy with it. Anyways, let me get back to it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm being a retardinal myself here. So,
it's okay.
All right. I'm good now. I'm good. Reset. The offensive line. Oh my God. We're talking about retardinals, and this is maybe the worst of the Cardinals. So, Mark Hovsepian, perfect timing for this. And by the way, I agree with Mark. The Cowboys won't do it. The coaches won't do it. Jerry Jones won't do it. The players won't do it. So, yeah, if we were coaches, it'd be a different thing, right? Or if we were the owner of the team. But we're not, Mark. So, they got to keep that. They want that consistency of these guys starting together, but you got to knock on wood. No one gets dinged up. So, back on track for a second here, guys. The Cardinals' offensive line, as we... make sure you guys drop your comments, drop your love from above. If you guys want to help out the channel, you know how to do it. Super chats and cash apps and all that good stuff. But this is the end. So, get them in. We can answer a little overtime if you guys drop it like it's hot. And then, we'll call it a night. But tomorrow's the defense of the Cardinals. Tonight's the offense. And now we're at the trenches where we dominate on defense. We know this. For the Cardinals, they're not an offensive line that you can call even average or good. When it comes to run blocking, they're even worse. So, again, you got to put their run blocking for the run blocking offensive line for the Cardinals below average, which is great news for us. Bad news for James Conner. James Conner is their best weapon, and that's why I was saying, if they get them, they were going against the Giants, a decent defensive line, and they ran for 106 yards with Conner. So they overused them, but they still got the yardage. So don't know what his yards per were, but not great. So I see the run blocking of the Cardinals being one of their, into the below average. I would say in the 20s and below as far as their offensive line abilities. And again, they put in the effort, but it's lacking detail and sharpness. They gave up the 8th most sacks last year. So when it comes to pass protection, not good. They gave up a lot of sacks against a mobile, Kyler Murray. So they're in trouble now. They gave up the 8th most sacks last year. They ranked 9th most allowed in pressures or pressures allowed. So this year, the Cardinals have given up 18 pressures already, which is the 10th most, and have allowed 1 sack, which is pretty good, I guess. But that same Cardinal deep offensive line has to face the Cowboy defense that leads the NFL. Our defense leads the NFL in sacks and has dominated, as we all know, the first 2 weeks of the season. So when you look at their run blocking, horrible. Pass protection, pretty bad. Sacks is the only thing they do good at on defense and offense, but they somehow allow a lot of pressure, and they don't get any pressure on defense. So, and on offense, they give up a lot of pressure. My goodness. We should be killing this entire offensive team here.
Speaking of pressure, Mark Hovsepian, big mahalo to you. He's
another one.
Pressure. He's trying to go back to back to back again.
Yeah, he's getting closer and closer to that top spot. Another one from the man, Mark Hovsepian. What did the man say with that 5 on it?
St. Mary's Catholic Girls Lacrosse team is more of a threat. I have to admit, I was half right on the O-line. The Giants have excellent backup. Backups. Backup tackles are a big question mark.
For them? Well, again, yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about the Giants, they're missing Andrew Thomas, 78, this week against the Giants. Against the Niners on tomorrow's game, on Thursday Night Football. They're missing 4 starters, the Giants, right now for this game, hitting up Thursday Night Football on Amazon. But as far as, let me see here. I'm going to try and see. I have to admit, I was half right on the O-line. The Giants have excelled. Not excellent, but have excelled. Is that what he's saying?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Is that a joke or not? But backup tackle is a big question mark. He's talking about for us, though. I'm trying. Make sure Mark gets it. Lets me know.
I'm guessing. No. Okay. So basically, you're talking about our O-line. I'm guessing maybe. half right on the O-line. The guards have excelled, but the backup tackles are a big question mark.
And again, the tackles haven't really played too much, right? They haven't really come out. But Awesome Richards and Chuma Adoga are our tackles right now. They are our swing tackles, our backup tackles of both those guys. So I would love to know what he means in more detail on that. But
yeah, I'll let Mark kind of let me know. But
and Mark's right behind John Montgomery. So I think he's like 5 back or 6 back.
Oh, so Marco Seppi with the $2 Holly said, no, our guards are good. Preparation H for Arizona.
Their ass over there, yeah. So actually, let me break it down. Man, much love to Mark. He's like stride for stride with us here. Who do we have to exploit?
Do they make Preparation D?
They make Big D, and we're coming right for the. Well, anyways, much love to Mark with that $2 holler. Yes. Actually, he's saying about the guard, baby. That's exactly one of my points for tonight. We're not going to the matchups and the details on that, but this is one of those that are coming up. The Arizona guards, guys. The Cowboys have to exploit left guard Elijah Wilkinson. Now, he was a free agent acquisition for the Cardinals this year. Spent last year on injured reserve on the Atlanta Falcons team. In week 1, he gave up multiple pressures. He also gave up the only sack allowed by the Cardinals. That left guard weakness. Left guard. Attack it. Osa, attack it. Hankins, Mozzie, attack that motherfucker. That's all. You got to do that. You're going to get in there. You're going to get constant pressure on Dobbs. One positive for the Cardinals, I will say, and I said this earlier, when it comes to their offensive line, Kellen Beachum, been out, missed the first 2 weeks, is probably returning from a hand injury. So, again, even though the different linemen were playing in different spots, that versatility goes on not just on our team, on all teams. He was out with a hand injury. The offensive line is going to shuffle things around, and Wilkinson will probably go back to backup duties at left guard. So, again, if they shuffle it around, he'll be benched. They'll move the left tackle to left guard, kind of like a Tyler Smith move back. And then they'll put their starter there, Beachum, on the left tackle spot there, back there. So, again, Beachum, still in the practice report. You saw him injured. I think he was a full practice, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's going to play this week with the hand injury. All right, we're going to have a little challenge there. Let's bring it on. I'm ready for him to be challenged. A guy who fresh off the injured list. Not injured list, but fresh off an injury. First game he's going to play this year. And he's going to meet Micah Parsons. Hello. I can't wait. Micah is not scared of anyone. I'm not scared of anyone who can block him. Lane Johnson, whoever, bring it on. We're coming. That's coming. On the opposite side, on the right guard spot, you guys know this guy? Will Hernandez. Cheap shot artist.
It definitely sounds familiar.
We liked him when he was in the draft, but he was a cheap shot artist for the Giants. Trying to make the Black Cat game at the Giants Stadium. Yeah. He was just starting a lot of problems with us in that game. He had like 3-4 fights, that bitch. Now he's a Cardinal. And he also has given up multiple pressures this season. He's trying to find consistency. So attack, left guard, right guard, it don't matter. We're going to get pressure. We're going to stop the run. That's the key here. So getting pressure through, getting pressure on Hernandez, kind of stressing him. And then, by doing that, you're going to be able to disrupt his confidence. Aaron Hernandez will start losing ground. And against our defense, it's over, baby. So, again, adding to the inside blocking issues that the Cardinals have is their center. And, again, I'm trying to say his name. Hajal Froholt. Sounds like he's Swedish or Finnish or something. But, again, he found his way onto the Cardinals team somehow this offseason. And now he's their starting center. An unheard of guy. Last week against the Giants, struggled incredibly against the Giants interior. And he's going to be facing the inside pressure that we got. Again, not just Hankins and Mozzie, but now Osa you got to add Osa to that list. It's going to be ugly, guys, what this defensive line is going to bring. So again, I'm showing these three kind of, I don't want to say star players, but these are the three guys that are their weapons to get plays, and Marquise Brown. But how does any of that work when their offensive line is fucking horse shit? Let's be honest. Like, how is that going to work? How can they have James Conner run the ball when they have one of the worst run-blocking offensive lines in the NFL? How are they going to keep Joshua Dobbs safe outside of Dobbs' ability to scramble, which is very good comparatively to, let's say, other quarterbacks. Let's say it's more like a Zach Wilson type of scrambling, right, for Josh Dobbs? I don't even think Josh Dobbs is as good as Zach Wilson, but let's say he can scramble like that. Offensive line is still going to crack and break down. He's going to be under constant 24/7 duress in this game if they throw the ball. If they run, they got a really bad run-blocking team. Unless they have some new concept they haven't broken out, or Kelvin Beachum is this, is having a Pro Bowl year out of the blue. It's not going to happen. We're going to constantly keep them down, keep them wrapped up, keep the run game locked down like we saw us do that Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall. And James Conner won't do anything. I think Dobbs will try to run a little bit. He scored a touchdown last week, but he got 45 yards. He can hurt you here and there. We got Donovan Wilson back. Bring it on. I'm just saying, guys, we have everything they have, every just a little answer. They don't have a good answer, but the little answers they got to try to do something, we got it locked down. Zach Ertz, meet J-Ron Curse. Over. That's it. So they have nothing they can do. I mean, the receivers, Hollywood Brown, rookie Michael Wilson. Hello, Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, Deron Bland. It's done. If we make no mistakes on offense and defense, we win this game by 40. If we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, if our defensive guys don't slip and fall, can't make a tackle, if our offensive guys throw, Dak throws interception, the guys drop passes, fumbles by Pollard, then we maybe win 24 to 10. If we have our worst game. There's no fucking way we should lose to this team. There's no way this offense can score points unless we allow them to. Unless we, slip, fall, or just have a bad communication, a misread, some dumb shit happens. Yeah, you get the Jets on a 68-yard pass. That's what you're going to get here once, maybe, if they get lucky. So, I don't know. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, maybe, because I'm done. I wrapped up the Cardinals offense, and hopefully Micah and the defense will be wrapping up every play on their offensive team.
Exactly.
Come Sunday afternoon.
Should be like a secondhand nature to these guys, right?
Hell yeah.
So, as we, of course, do the final shout-outs here, guys, make sure to take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily.
Hell yeah.
And hop in the Discord link for that in the description box down below. As Modius said it would have to be a total implosion.
Implosion.
Not such an implosion where, I don't know, we implode and then put ourselves back together and then explode one more time just to be sure.
It's an implosion, and then we still win by 20 points. You know what I mean? Like, we still win by 14 with an implosion. We implode, we win, it's like, 21-10 shit like this. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks, but we know why. We have the worst game we can have. So I believe we'll be fine. I truly believe we'll be fine in this game. Nothing they can do to really stop us unless we stop ourselves. So
let me see. El Fuego 2.0, what's up? He said pretty soon Parsons is gonna wear a hoodie with the logo. Oh, merda.
It's coming. He's already got it on, right? He's just gonna. I think he's gonna bring it to the games now. He's just wear it on his patch on his jersey. That's what we need to see on Sunday. Cardinals. Jason
Ruffo said Preparation H won't help Arizona with butt whipping they'll take.
Exactly.
So C. Bass said the Retardinals will get slumped like Beatish Hoffman stole off of Sam Williams. So hey,
in that training camp fight. But now they're in the same team, guys. We got both those guys.
Let me see. Of course, C. Bass. Leaside Herald, you made a little appearance here. Talking real football, right? Hashtag Aguilar 04. Much love to you. Mark Hovsepian, of course. A big mahalo to you.
Yeah, Mark is like right on the brink of overtaking John Montgomery for first place. So he's right behind him there in second place.
Oh, there you go.
Trying to go for that three-peat, right?
Yeah. We have, let me see, Dirty South MVP. Tornado, Fuego, Mike Aldana, Chalk to Montana 808. Yeah, it's as far back as it lets me go, at least on my side.
Oh,
so,
let me see. I'll try to look to see if I got anybody else. Just
No, it's
Scorpio,
alright.
Fuego, Tornado, Mike Aldana. I think you got Chalk to Montana.
Shout out everybody here.
Everyone.
So, guys, of course, thank you so much for joining us here. But do you know why we do what we do here?
Yeah, we hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell.
I said that all already.
I know. I was just making a joke, baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know you're tired.
I thought you were saying it like,
I know you're tired.
Like
No,
I didn't say it. I'm like, I said it.
I know you're sleepy. I know you're tired. We're all going to say goodnight here. But I got to say much love to those that dropped the love from above tonight. Daniel Berry in the Cash app. We got a lot of gifting love tonight. Appreciate you, James. Brandon James, Shay. You got Jason Renfro, Skeptical fan, who's currently in first place as Ron the Don holds on to that, to the crown this week on the gifting side of things. And then you had, of course, Marco Sepian, who, as you can see, our sponsor week 2 weeks in a row, second place right behind John Montgomery. Much love for your drops of love from above. Sponsor of the week, Marco Sepian. Jason Renfro, 57 points, still up there on that stream boss, holding it down. Skeptical fan in the lead on the gifting membership side. Of course, Don't forget, we said it already, but SnugX, of course, has that crown this week on the Cash App side. 6 weeks in a row. Will he go 7? Will he make it 7, 7 heaven? I don't know. But as of right now, we have Mr. Roger Dad Asher in the lead.
Ooh.
So appreciate that, and let's rep that star together over everything. And baby, before we can drop out of here, you got to let me know. Why do we do this here on My Cowboys Family? We want 6 and beyond, but why do we on MCF do this each and every night on My Cowboys Family?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
See, you read my mind, baby. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly here. We always rep that star over everything. And here in My Cowboys Family, never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. You see it on my shirt. We want 6.
A little quieter, go Cowboys here on our side, guys.
Yeah, it's a little late. We want 6 and beyond. Let's get it. Guys, thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. Truly appreciate the drops of love from above. Can't do this without your support on that side of things. But baby, it is time, now officially time to drop out and clock out for the night. Relock, reload for tomorrow's show, talking about our offense versus this Cardinals defense. Buddha Bakerless defense. We'll talk about it all tomorrow, guys. But baby, here tonight, before we can drop out of here for the night, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the V. Damn it. I was trying to get you.
You almost did. I got my peripherals working. Guys, thank you for dropping in with us here again. Hit that like, subscribe, notification. Even you, Eastside, hit that like, damn it. Drop them if you got them in the chat right now. Got a lot of new emojis rotating in the mix. So thank you guys for coming in here and watching us, listening to us break down the news, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys, guys. Can't do this without your love and support. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like, sub it up, notification bell. Oh, and Jason Renfro here after the bell saying, hold on, another 5 on it.
Woo.
And the man said, Preparation H won't help them. They will need a butt plug instead to clog up those holes. Boom, boom, boom. We hear you, Jason, as he ends it with a big drop, so to speak. And up to 62 points on the stream, boss. Much love to everybody. Let's remember here on MCF, that crawl's coming to you. That lion call's coming right there from Mr. number 9, Joshua Dobbs, and the rest of the Cardinal offense. They're going to hopefully end up red and dead on Sunday night. Guys, here in MCF, it's about that navy blue. That silver, too, that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here in My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone. Hit that like, sub it up, notification bell. You know already. Follow us on Twitter at MyCowboysFamily, the Discord, all that good stuff. Appreciate everybody in the house. We'll see you tomorrow for another one. Have a good night. Stay safe. Peace. And never, ever, 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 never, ever forget. Go Cowboys.
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.